Hello everybody, my name is Wisecream and welcome back to the second circle. This time, I'm going to make sure that I'm thoroughly hydrated so that I don't taste the taste of blood back in my throat after talking for 3 hours straight. Yeah, well, let's just get right into it. No need to explain. Welcome back. Thank you for coming. On the following days, you head into the kitchen to start the day with a fresh pot of coffee. You are surprised to find that you are not alone. Justice and Modius are already awake and are sitting at the kitchen table chatting. They stop you as you walk in, grinning at your presence. Good morning, sleepyhead. What the frick? Feeling tired today, Chief? What are you two talking about? 7 a.m. Yeah, and everyone else is already up. What the frick? You're the one who slept in this. What? You're kidding. Afraid not. What about Panamanica? She drags zdrada to the store and restocked the fridge and pantry. What the frick? What the frick? Hold it. Something's going wrong here. Something's wrong. What the frick? Zdrada went. She needed a new pot for her cactus. Whoa! Now she's taking care of a freaking plant. What the frick? I suppose that makes sense. And Panamanica does exert an unusual amount of control over zdrada. What about her coffee, though? Modius gestures to the sink where the grinder lays among the dishes. Looks like she's taking a liking to the grinder you gave her. She was already, she was up early and made her own coffee with it. Alright. Something suspicious is happening. What the frick? What about Cerberus? Judgment took her for a walk. Malina. As Hazel and her went to a gaming cafe for research purposes. I suspect only Azazel will be doing research. You're probably right. Surely Lucy still around. Modius and Justice share a glance. Actually, we haven't seen her at all today. Oh, okay. This is when the plot thickens, everybody. Hold up. Yeah, I put my ear up to her door thinking I'd hear something like usual, but nothing. She's just gone. The demon shrug. Don't know what to tell you, Chief. Alright. And what about you two? Where are you off to? Bookstore? What the frick? My sources tell me that they're getting a new shipment of books in Braille, so I thought I'd bring Justice along to see if anything struck her fancy. What the frick? What? Everyone's going on their own dates. What the frick? Okay, well, have fun. Well, what am I gonna do? What are we gonna do? What the frick? Oh, don't worry about me. I got some plans to make. Plans? Like what? Oh, you'll see. No, what? You wink in their direction. Suddenly realizing what you mean, the demons blush. What do we mean? Oh. Now that's should be going, though. Hope the planning goes well. The demons bid for what plans? What plans? Hold on, what? What plans? I got some plans. Plans like what? You'll see. And then I wink. What is that? Like a date we're doing? Am I planning a party? Left to your own devices, you can only hope you're living up to Lucifer's expectations. Select your character. What? Wait. Select like the last time we did it, or like we're gonna choose? What the frick is going on? Hold on. Okay. Something's off here. Something's going on. I'm gonna go with Malina again. If the game meant like select your character as in like pick a character you're gonna play as, definitely gonna go to the gaming cafe with these two bozos. So let's start with that one first. We'll start with Malina. We're still playing as Taker, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm taking from this. Your mental state is not the best it's ever been. Okay. The stress of trying to find time for all the girls while also keeping a watchful eye out for that dethroned lords of hell is taking its toll, fraying your already stretched nerves to their bare ends. Oh, frick. What you'd really like to do is take a vacation, get someplace far, far away, preferably to an island resort with unlimited mimosas. Unfortunately, the thought of trying to get all 9 girls through airport security without causing a scene proves too much of a hurdle for you to clear, for now, at any rate. Fortunately, in the meanwhile, you have alcohol, a stalwart and dependable, if rather addictive, way to numb out the world around you, rendering the clawing worries into nothing more than a dull sense of existential dread. I don't know which one's better. I don't know if existential dread is better than clawing worries, but okay. A dependable way, that is, until now. Oh, frick. Am I going to go into a drunken rage and then we're going to start the domestic abuse arc? Oh, frick. Ugh. Wait, no, they would kill me. Never mind. That's not, no. You're standing in front of what was once your bar cabinet, stretched thin ever since Melina moved into the house. Your overworked liquor cabinet appears to have fully given up the ghost. Your small reserve of top-shelf booze has been thoroughly plundered. The only object remaining is a half-empty bottle of martini olives, rolling forlornly at the far end of the oaken chamber. Martini olives. Well, that can't be good. While as the Zdrada and the other demons do partake in alcohol from time to time, there's really only one demon capable of clearing out the cabinet in such a short amount of time. One which, coincidentally, has been suspiciously absent from day-to-day activities. I wonder if Melina was the one who cleaned out my supply of booze. Yeah, wonder if. What the frick do you think? Ever since her embarrassment during your last day, Melina has remained largely in her room, not even coming out for the communal movie night. Her persistent lack of communication with the rest of the house is starting to weigh on you. Oh, frick, okay. Making mental note to restock the cabinet soon, you decide to head upstairs to see if she's willing to talk with you today. You make your way up to the door of the attic, but silence is the only thing that answers your inquisitive knocking. Undaunted, you call up the ladder. You call up the ladder, hoping your voice will garner what attention your knocking cannot. Melina, you doing okay up there? No answer, and so you try again. Everyone wants to see you again. Why don't you come eat dinner with us tonight? The silence hangs like an obese fruit bat in the wake of your knocking. Silence hangs like an obese fruit bat. What are these? What are these similes? Holy frick! Like an obese fruit bat. Well, if you change your mind, we'd love to have you join us. You pause for a moment, then add, "I'd love to have you there." Whoa! The trapdoor creaks open, and a thick, slurred voice comes trickling down the stairs. No, and stop bothering me, Taker. I'm too hungover for this sort of thing. Before you can finish your thought, the trapdoor drops back into place with a dusty thwump. Drawn by the noise, one of Cerberus' heads poke around the corner, quickly joined by a second and third. It's no use when she's like this, you know. I take it this isn't the first tantrum she's thrown. It's useless to try and squeeze a normal interaction out of her when she's on one of her legendary binges. And we haven't seen her this upset since the one time Zdrada used her limited edition console as an ashtray. Oh, frig. How long did she sulk for? About 5, I think, days. Well, that's not the years. Okay. Well, about 5 years. Isn't that like 5 minutes in demon time? I don't freaking know. That'll be a problem. There's got to be a way to make her snap out of it early. This isn't exactly a convenient time for it. Should I let it run its course, or maybe... Your floundering is cut short by Cerberus, who seems well versed on the subject of Melina's mood swings. It may sound silly, but sulking and hiding is a way of asking for attention. Oh, wow. Isn't that what I was doing, or is trying to talk to her the wrong kind of attention? Cerberus shakes her head. It's more complicated than that. She's not going to open up that easily. We'd recommend bringing her a gift to show that you care about her. Like a stick. Like a stick or a newspaper. Thanks for the suggestion, Cerberus, but I think Melina wants something a little more personal. What about something special to drink? If I could find a spirit that really speaks to her, she might be willing to open up enough to let me back in. Oh my gosh, that's almost as good an idea as a newspaper. You're good at this. Oh, frick. Guess I'll mosey on down to the bar. You want to come along? Yeah, we'll help you pick out a... Oh, frick. Okay. Well, time to go to the liquor store. Wait, can you buy just bottles of alcohol from the bar? Is that a thing you can do? Or I thought you had to go to a liquor store. I don't freaking know anything about buying liquor. A small bell tinkles over your head as you enter, prompting a familiar, sleep-muddied face to rise from behind the bar. Hello? Can I... Oh, it's you again. Hey, Abby, won't be near long. We're just looking for something to placate a cranky friend of ours. Frankly, that's too much information. Wake me up when you decide what you want, okay? Or you could just walk out with it. Not really my problem. You're pretty sure it's by definition. It is by definition. But you let Cerberus pull you deeper into the bar without saying anything. Abby gives you a groggy thumbs up before sliding slothfully below the bar. Cerberus sticks out her tongue in Abby's direction once you're out of sight. Wow, okay. We don't like her, you know. How many jobs does she work anyways? Too many, but I wouldn't be too harsh on her. Minimum wage jobs stink. She's probably just trying to make ends meet. Is bartender minimum wage? I don't. Don't you have to go to school to become a bartender, or at least a good one? I don't know. I mean, how hard is it pouring out drinks? I don't know. I've never been to a bar. I don't freaking know. It was just because I got offered a bartending class once, and it looked pretty cool. They look pretty good at it, so maybe you do have to go to school. I don't know. Anyways, wandering over to the novelties, she amuses herself for a time by pulling a selection of bottles down. You're pretty sure even she wouldn't drink. How is that possible? How about this one? Sauerkraut-infused bourbon. Not sure I could even stomach that being in the house. Let's see. She's not really a huge fan of overly sweet spirits, so something tart. How about this one? Looking over at Cerberus, you see she's picked an excessively ornate, rounded bottle. The bottle is surrounded by a gaudy gold filigree, more akin to something you would find on royal instruments of office rather than a bottle of liquor. Jeez. The vessel is filled with a deep red liquid. Chambord? It even smells like her. Okay. Wait. People like to eat things that smell like them, right? What the frick? What do I smell like? Would I eat something that smells like me? People like to eat things that smell... Maybe it's a demon thing. Either way, I think it's probably as good as we're going to find here, so let's get back. Are you going to wake up that lazy sales lady? No. Wait. We know she's a spy. Maybe... Frick! Let's save. We're going to save scum this. We're going to save scum this. Wake up! You ring a little bell on the counter, once more rousing Abby. She peers molishly at you as she rings up the alcohol. Oh, damn, were we paying for this? I told you didn't need to wake me up, right? If this were a video... Okay, I thought they were about to go fourth wall on me. If this were a video game, this would be the point where you realize that Abby will remember that. You get a vague feeling that Abby will remember that, but you can't quite figure out where it's coming from. You pay for the drink and make your way back to the house, Cerberus in tow. I had a feeling that we were going to have to pay for that. Motherfricker, hold on. No, hold on. No. You hate to disturb someone in such obvious need of sleep. Leaving a couple of bills on the counter, you walk out of the shop, Cerberus close behind. Okay, well, frick, I'm going with that one. Cerberus parts from you as you head towards the staircase, instead meandering off towards the kitchen in search of a snack. Alone once more, you head up back to Malina's room, stopping only to grab a couple of wine glasses from Lucifer's collection. This time around, you're knocking on the trapdoors met with an immediate response. Leave me alone! I told you I'm not interested in entertaining your bumbling attempts at romance. Well, that's quite a shame. I suppose I'll have to enjoy this bottle of Chambord on my own. Taking a seat on one of the ladder rungs, you uncork the bottle and pour out the aromatic liquid into a small crystal glass. As you take a sip, a curious noise sounds above you, just as you predicted it would. You smile to yourself as the trapdoor to Malina's attic cracks open a fraction of an inch. A pair of red-rimmed eyes quickly take stock of the situation before withdrawing. The eyes are almost immediately replaced by a pale-fingered hand, which gently lifts the trapdoor another few inches off the ground before reaching down the wooden slats of the ladder. Wordlessly, you pour another glass full of the berry-scented liquor and gently place it in the palm of the inquisitive hand. Grasping the vessel carefully, the hand retreats back up to the attic. Another moment passes in silence before the hand emerges once again from the trapdoor, placing the empty glass on a wooden stair conspicuously close to the bottle. Taking the hint, you refill the glass, and it's quickly withdrawn. At last, you decide to break the silence. I'm sorry about the last date. Should have put my foot down when Zdrada barged in. Thought letting you hash things out with your sister would be good for you, especially if you could beat her at something. It's not entirely your fault, you know. Zdrada's used to winning and throws temper tantrums when things don't go the way she wants it to. Even if I'd beat her, she would have found some way to ruin our evening. She always does, you know. You two have been feuding for how long now? Long time. Years. Decades. Centuries. What happened? It's not uncommon for sisters to fight, even here in the mortal world, but to be locked in a sustained combat for that long, there has to be a reason. Silence fills the hallway, and for a moment you wonder if you've pushed too far into Malina's past. However, after what feels like an eternity, Malina answers your question. It's complicated. And I'd have to start from the beginning. If you really want to know, I guess you could come upstairs. Just make sure you break that bottle. Oh, frick. Oh, wow. We in the attic now. Dude. Look. She's got... Is that a... That's not a wine glass. That's like a... Frick. I gotta set up... I said this in the first episode. I have to sit straight like a gentleman. Holy frick, guys. And I'm still... Look, he's still wearing the suit. Damn, maybe I should have put the suit on again. Ah, that's okay. Man. That's not a... That doesn't look like a wine glass, though. It looks like something for like a whiskey or something. I know nothing about alcohol, but like the small like short glass is like for like whiskey or like rum or something. I don't know, but that's what I'm taking in a wine glass. Champagne is like the tall, skinny one because you don't want the bubbles to go everywhere, right? So you keep it straight. And then a wine glass, it's wide. I don't know. It's alcohol culture is like a whole thing. I don't know anything about it, but it is pretty interesting. Malina's room has undergone a bit of a transformation since you were last here. Heavy, dark cloths have been draped over the windows. You're telling me she didn't do that first? Like, that's not the first thing she did? Okay. Making the room feel claustrophobic, closed off from the rest of the world. It's pretty dope. I mean, that's kind of... I mean, I don't know. Malina's normally clean room... What? Was it clean? Is it? Ah. Has been subverted by the lazy hands of constant habitation. Clothes lay strewn over her couch, an unmade bed, and her minibar has been ransacked. Its bottles desiccated and left forgotten on the floor to be slowly subsumed by rising tides of clothes. Wow, this game really has a way with words, huh? The overbright glare of Malina's computer is the only source of illumination in the gloomy atmosphere, and it casts the room into an uncomfortably stark relief, shadows looming at odd angles upon the walls. At the center of this bedlam, Malina stands, wobbling back and forth from drink, lack of sleep, or some combination of the two. Grimacing, she extends her glass, and, against your better judgment, you pour her another drink. The two of you sit on the floor, Malina facing towards the window, and you the wall. She sighs. There's a lot to go through. I'm not really sure where to start. Well, how about the beginning? I'm sure the story will come together as you tell it. Malina sighs and leans back into your shoulder. At first, her words come forth hesitantly, almost as if she's forcing them out into the open. Back in hell, Zdrada and I, well, we didn't live quite like the others. Oh, frick. Whoa! Holy frick. 80s Zdrada, 80s movie. This is like mid-90s or something fashion. What the frick? No, it's not. No, wait. You know what? I'm just going to say it is. I don't know. Ha, gotcha. Smell you later, loser. Gotta try harder than that if you want to catch us. Yeah! Grocer demon. Damn, brat, stop stealing me wares. People say that. The two of us were quite the dreadful duo. Nothing was safe from our sticky fingers. We okay, is this past? This is past Malina. Okay. No, this is present. Present, sitting on the floor. Okay. We pilfered pretty much anything we could get our hands on. Food, clothes, and coin when we were able to. Zdrada had a real knack for making a scene. She'd always be out picking fights, turning heads, and generally keeping attention away from the valuables. While she was busy showing off, I'd get in and rob our marks blind. Cool hat. And your hair is longer. Okay. After we plundered enough to make it through the day, we'd head back to the place we called home. Nice pants. Okay. Hurry up, Malinka. We're only halfway there. You know I'm not as fast as you. Dude, it's like they got their old things and everything. This is dope. Fine, I'll wait for you, but only because you're my little sister. Got it? We had a layer in one of the outer layers. A layer in the outer layer. Cool. Okay. A dumping ground for the mortal vices. We dug ourselves a fort out of the refuse. It wasn't much, but it was nice to have a roof over our head when the sky started burning tar. Burning tar? Is that normal weather in hell? Very, and hush, I'm getting to the good part. You note with wry amusement with that despite being reluctant to begin the story, Malina seems invested in continuing it. We live day to day, planning, executing, repeating. We must have pulled off hundreds of capers over the many years, and every night we'd revel in our own wit, our youth, our immortality. To us! Cheers, Z! Two sisters together till the end. Together till the end! That was our life for who knows how long, stealing anything we could get our hands on. We were never apart from one another for long, and the only thing we could really count on was each other. But one day, our scheming went awry. I got the food, let's get out of here!
Not this time, you little punks! One of my buddies from the Circle of Wrath sent me a little toy!
Oh! Damn. Ah! Malika! The shopkeeper shot me. Zdrada and I had never seen a gun before, and he shot me with a silver bullet over an apple. Fortunately, adrenaline carried me out of sight before the shopkeeper could reload. Silver bullets can be shot one at a time? What? Or that's kind of... How'd you get silver bullets in hell? What the frick? I thought you had to get like a priest to bless silver bullets. How the frick did you get a silver bullet in hell? What the frick? My sister found me passed out in an alleyway, badly wounded. Don't worry, sis, I got you. I'll get you back to the hideout, get you patched up. It was agony for the both of us. My sister carried me for hours to get me to safety, but it was only after we were secure in our hideaway that the real nightmares began. Oh, she got shot. Oh, frick, oh, damn. The tummy? You got shot in the tummy? That's the worst place to get shot, bro. Like, I'd rather get shot in the face than in the tummy. I mean, like, honestly, that means I just die instantly instead of dying a slow, painful death. Jeez. That's so hot. Lena, you're burning up. The bullet wound festered, the silver burning away at my body. Without means of paying for medical assistance, Zdrada was forced to take desperate measures to make ends meet. Jeez. She fought tooth and nail for my survival, taking on gangs, chop shops, anyone who might have a cure. Jeez. Linka, I managed to find some medicine for you. You don't have any money. How did you... Zdrada, you've been picking fights with the gangs again, haven't you? Don't worry about your big sis. There's no cocksucker out there bad enough to beat me in a fight with my baby sister's life's on the line. Jeez! Holy frick! Now take this medicine and get some sleep. But you have to promise to be careful out there. I promise I'll have you back on your feet in no time. Never abandon my baby sister. Jeez, holy frick, dude. Didn't last forever. If an injury doesn't kill a demon outright, they usually recover, given enough time. Zdrada's plundering tipped the balance in my favor, and slowly but surely it began to recover. Confined to our hideaway, boredom now was my principal concern. Hold up. Okay, here's my prediction right now, okay? Malina gets used to being taken care of after being shot by the silver bullet, and then becomes like a NEET and plays video games all day while Zdrada goes out and... Holy frick. That is like sad and tragic and funny at the same time. Jeez. No, that's just a prediction. We don't know what happened yet. How you doing today, sis? Better. I managed to drink some tea today. You're starting to recover. That's good to hear. We'll be back on the street in no time at all. By the way, I found something for you. Should keep you going... keep you from going crazy with boredom. A Funtendo? What the heck is this? It's a games console. They're all the rage on the surface. You play electronic games on them. I figured you'd want something to do. Stuck here. Not sure, but I'll try it. Thanks for thinking of me, Zdrada. Anything for my baby sister. We're in this together till the end. Together till the end. With nothing to do all day, I quickly became enamored with the console. The games I had were pretty terrible now that I think about it, but I loved playing them anyways. There's even a 2-player mode. Nice. Up for a round with your older sis? Sure, I warned you though. I've been playing all day. Oh, frig. I had a natural talent for competition, but I didn't stand a chance. You got me. How are you so good at games you never even played? Because I'm top dog, that's why. Nobody's getting the better of me. Still, with nothing to do but play video games all day, a natural escalation in my skills was inevitable. I won. Did you see that? I won. Probably just a fluke. I wasn't warmed up yet. Let's go again. Eventually, my skills passed the point of no return, beating my sister again. This can't be right. You must be cheating. And again. Ha! No fair. How are you winning? And again. Yes, I beat you again. Freak. Until eventually, you're back early. Want to play some more? Is something wrong? I'm done playing that game. It's for babies anyway. Okay. You're almost fully recovered. Don't you think it's about time to hit the streets instead of playing on that silly thing? I've been doing some thinking, cooped up in here. I'm not sure if I want to go back to our old life. You can't be serious. We're a team, together till the end. But which end, see? I certainly don't want to be living here in another 100 years. That's only if we live that long. I think it's high time for a change in scenery. What are you talking about? Don't think I've heard the news. Don't think I haven't heard the news. There's a new queen of hell and things are changing. People are saying for the better. We could get in on the ground level and secure a stable future for ourselves if we wanted to. That pompous frick just passed decrees cracking down on thievery. Why on earth would I want to work for her? I know you live with her. That's hilarious. Okay. She's just trying to make hell safer for demons like us. How? By making it harder to prosper at the only things we're good at? How the frick is that helping us? By giving us a fresh start, an opportunity to strive for something better. Do you think Melina would actually talk like this? Sometimes the dialogue is like, would they actually say that or like that? I don't know. That's okay. Do you still want to be risking your life stealing apples a decade from now? I don't care. We can make it together. You getting hurt was just a fluke. As long as we're careful, it won't... My getting hurt was a fluke? I almost died. I'm not taking that risk again. Not when there is an alternative. First thing tomorrow, I'm heading for the capital to find a real job. You can't abandon me. Not after everything I've done for you. I won't let you. You won't let me? I'm your sister. Don't you want me to be happy? Oh, frick, dude. Holy frick. Sit up right. Frick. Not if it means being alone. I can't live like that. Then come with me. We can still work together. Even if I have to help you, You don't understand. I'm not taking some orders from some brown-nosed bureaucrat just because my own sister is blackmailing me into it. What the frick does brown-nosed bureaucrat mean? What does that mean? I don't know. See, I'm not trying to blackmail you. But you are, think. What am I supposed to do without you? Sorry, Zia. I just can't live my life for you. I have to live it for me. You've helped me realize what I'm capable of. What I could do when I put my mind to something. Oh, so you beat your big sister in a game for children and now you're ready to take on the world? Face it, Malinka, you're nothing without me. I'm not just your little sister anymore, see? But if this is the way things have to be, then I hope you can find it in your heart to accept me someday. Holy frick. I don't care how long it takes. I won't give up. And I'll never give up until I... Holy frick. Holy frick. Holy frick, dude. This is getting nuts. This is getting freaking... Holy dude. Why am I actually getting invested in this story? Dude, I thought this was just gonna be a silly little dating game. What the frick? Now I'm sad. What the frick? What the frick? I didn't wait until morning. I left that night, making the long journey through the rings of hell all on my own. You didn't wait to say goodbye to Zdrada? No, I'd said everything that needed to be said, and I knew that if I stayed, she'd only try to stop me from leaving. I wasn't certain Zdrada wouldn't physically try to keep me from leaving, and was under no illusions as to my ability to resist her if she decided to do so. That must have been hard. On both of you, yeah. On the both of you. You both lost something precious and irreplaceable that day. Well, yeah, I didn't have time to grab the console. The unexpected joke catches you off guard, stealing a chuckle from you. Glad your sense of humor is returning. Have you ever regretted the choices you made that day? Melina shakes her head, resolute. Never. I may have lost my big sister, but I found myself. Sometimes you have to burn your bridges to see the light. Come on, you guys got to do something. You guys were so tight. You guys were like a criminal duo. That's kind of cool, but only cool if you're in hell, I think. So maybe it's not too late to build new bridges with your sister, Melina. From everything you've told me, a lot of the things she does to try to reconnect with you. Perhaps a return to your old dynamic may be impossible, but that doesn't mean you can't develop a new, healthier one. Well, if you say so. I guess even if they aren't the best, your ideas aren't universally terrible. I guess I could give it some thought. But Melina will think on what you've said. Thanks for listening to my story. I think I'm ready to be part of the house again. Thank you for sharing. Believe it or not, this goes a long way towards explaining some things. You aren't a bad storyteller either. If you think of any more stories from hell, I'd love to hear them. Melina smiles and leans more into you, her tail winding its way around your arm. The two of you stay like that in silence for some time. Jeez! Holy frick. Holy frick. Wow, I'm gonna hydrate. Drink water. Also, thank you to my coworker who gave me this large water bottle. Love staying hydrated. We're gonna do it in the same order as last time. We're gonna go to Judgment. Judgment used to being like, she was the nice demon, right? And then she became high prosecutor, and that kind of sucks. So, anyways, really want to see how that turns out. The people at the Butterfly Conservatory were so grateful for your donation that you decided to make your visits a regular thing. From then on, you frequently took the time to cut up a few tubs of fruit and drive it over as you're out running errands. Okay. Every so often, Judgment joins you in the kitchen, but these occurrences are rare, leaving you with much... I gotta burp. See, I had to, do a mouth burp, 3 times this past 30 minutes, and I was talking at the same time, and I was like, wait, should I just interrupt this sentence to do a mouth burp? No, that's rude. So then I was like, I don't know how to explain it. Just remember, I doing all of this live. That's kind of interesting. Okay. You ruminate on what Justice said to you until you find yourself able to muster up the courage to talk to Judgment about the situation. Casually doing a pose in the kitchen, all right? As it were, the very day you decide to ask her about her past just so happens to be one of those occasions in which she joins you in the kitchen to cut up fruit. Say, Judgment? What is it, mortal? I was wondering if today you'd like to come with me to drop all of this off at the conservatory. You don't have to go with me, of course, but I thought it might be fun to swing by the park after. Maybe we could go for a walk, grab some ice cream. The demon narrows her eyes at you. You can tell she's suspicious of your intentions. Nevertheless, very well. So long as I am not forced to endure the presence of those infernal fluttering insects, I will gladly accompany you. You smile, but before you can return your attention to the task at hand, you hear a rustling at your back. Did someone say ice cream? Odious. Sorry, Taker. I couldn't help it over here. Wait, what? Modius steps through the doorway, followed closely by Cerberus. They all crowd sheepishly in the doorway. Can we get for ice cream too? Well, I'm done. Yes, that would be satisfactory. What is it you humans say? The more the merrier. Yay! Ice cream, yay! Yeah, okay. Let's just finish up here and we'll head out. The women all nod enthusiastically before disappearing into the living room to wait. Meanwhile, you and Judgment finish up in silence before packing everything up and taking it all out to the car. Modius and Cerberus pile into the back seat while Judgment sits next to you up front. With just a glance, you notice that Judgment had donned her spiked gauntlets once again. It looks like today won't go as smoothly as you hoped. In any case, you swing by the Butterfly Conservatory and drop off the snacks and Judgment cut up Just drop off the snacks you and Judgment cut up today. Then you park your car and get ready for the day at the park. Ice cream first? You looked at Judgment. The demon shrugs. Sure, let's get some ice cream first. Yay! All right. The four of them race off toward the stand. Judgment lingers behind, and you decide to stick by her. Hey, speak your mind already, mortal. You've been acting odd today. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, is everything okay? Judgment glares at you. Yes? Why wouldn't everything be okay? No reason, really. It's just, Hey, what flavor you guys want? Do they have mint chocolate chip, perchance? I don't know. Let me check. What about you, Taker? I'll take... that one. Got it. That was one of the mouth burps I was talking about. I was like, do I stop talking? Because I don't want to have to edit that out later. Like, should I just keep going? I don't know. Frick. Whatever. As Modius races off to order the ice cream, you turn back to Judgment. Before you can continue your previous conversation, however. Hey, Judgment. They do have mint chip. Do you want a single, double, or triple scoop? Double. Got it. Come and get him. Before you can so much as get a word in, Judgment shoots you a wary glance, then jogs off to join the others. Why you suss me out? What the frick? Deflated, you follow along. Before you know it, you, Modius, and Judgment are walking through the park, savoring your ice creams and watching as Cerberus races at Mach 5 through the grass. She sure finished hers fast. Did she even taste it? Surely not. She just about inhaled it, cone and all. Perhaps we shouldn't have approved 3 scoops each. But she made such a compelling argument. What argument? Compelling or not, now we have a sugar-hyped demon on our hands. She'll wear herself out eventually. The 3 of you pause to watch Cerberus run circles around one another. Just then an idea occurs to you. Some way to perhaps get Judgment alone. Hey, Modius, why don't you see if you can calm her down a bit? We're leaving already? No, but I figure if you start trying to get Cerberus on to wind down now, by the time we're ready to leave, we should be able to wrangle her back in the car, yeah. Right. Yeah, okay, I'll try. Modius jogs off, only barely avoiding being trampled as she approaches the demonic whirlwind. Perhaps I should lend her aid. Actually, Judgment, there's something I've been meaning to ask you about. Oh? You're finally ready to talk about what has had you so fidgety today? Well, out with it. Confess thy sins, mortal. Only then can we move on to glorious retribution. No sins. It's about the other day. Well, the past several days. What the frick? Before you can finish your thought, you are interrupted yet again. This time, however, it is not at the hands of Modius or Cerberus. Rather, a child has let loose a loud and mournful wail, which has been brought the entire park to a standstill. You, like everyone else, turn to see a young boy standing beside his father, and clutched in his tiny fist, there's an ice cream cone conspicuously missing a scoop of ice cream on top. The scoop has fallen onto the sidewalk, and it melts into a puddle of green goo, and the father is trying desperately to calm the child, which is also searching fruitlessly through his pockets for enough change to buy another. Your eyes dart the glob of ice cream on the ground into the cone held in Judgment's hand. The demon realizes at the same time that you... both flavors are the same. This realization, however, causes her to freeze. All eyes are on you, now given your close proximity to the unfolding disaster. Judgment turns to you as if to leave, and as she does, she notices her glancing over her shoulder Modius and Cerberus, who have stopped to watch along with everyone else. Realizing that now is the perfect moment to broach an otherwise awkward topic, you put out a hand to stop her from leaving. Judgment, what I've been trying to say all day is that Justice told me about your past, and I want you to know that it doesn't matter. Wait, what the frick was that bit about the ice cream? What the frick? Hold on, what? What? Wait. Wait, what? Did I give him the ice cream? Is the... As the reason realized at the same time as you, that both flavors are the same, this really caused her to freeze. What? Oh, frick that. Whatever. Okay. Myself, Modius, Cerberus, Justice, we all care about you and want you to see you happy. So please don't think that you have to hide any aspect of yourself to be respected or cared for, because I promise that we will accept you for who you are, even if that person isn't quite so demonic. Okay? Judgment looks at you, searching your expression with narrow eyes. What the frick? Why are you looking at me? Really being studying my face right now. What the frick? Why are you all studious like that? What the frick? Perhaps you think she is looking for a trace of falsehood in your gaze. Whatever it is, the demon finds something that causes her own expression to soften. She nods. Oh, sorry, I almost had to sneeze. Sorry, dude. This happens. You want to listen to a visual novel, and here I am. I'm out here having mouth burps and almost sneezes. What the frick? Thank you, Tinker. She turns to approach the kid, but you stop her with a hand on her shoulder. Judgment. What? You nod at her gauntlets. Oh. At once, Judgment understands and takes in a deep breath. It'd be way cooler to hand a kid an ice cream with these freaking metal gauntlet things. What the frick? She hands you her ice cream to hold long enough for her to slip off her gauntlets. They clang against the sidewalk as she drops them to her side. Then, taking the ice cream back, Judgment makes her way over to the kid and kneels before him. At once, her voice takes on a soft tone that you've never heard before. You realize that this is who Judgment is, who she's been all along. Whoa, what the frick? There's this kid, there's the demon lady, and there's a double scoop of ice cream. Unfortunately, there is no ice cream illustrated on the floor somewhere, but as you can see in the background, Modius is attempting to wrangle the sugar demon. Okay. Shh, little one, do not despair. Here, you may have my ice cream. I too enjoy mint chocolate chip. At this, the wailing subsides. The child, still sniffling, looks between Judgment and his father. It's all right, you can take it, buddy. The kid nods and gingerly takes Judgment's cone. Thank you. No problem. The demon smiles and ruffles the child's hair before standing. That was really kind of you, miss. How can we ever thank you? Think nothing of it. I'm happy to help, really. Judgment returns to your side as the crowd disperses. You're telling me the crowd of people at a park just gathered around some kid who dropped his ice cream cone and just stared at him? That what? With the okay. I mean, sure. Okay, all right. At their arrival, you feel Judgment tense up next to you, clearly afraid of what her fellow demons will think. Wow, Judgment, that was awesome. We expected you to blast him with Inferno to get him to shut up. But instead, you just gave him your ice cream. We never would have thought of that. Okay. Yeah. What you did for that kid was really sweet. Judgment's face reddens at the praise. Well, I just... Thanks, guys. I just love seeing her happy. That's all I want. What do you guys say we split a sundae then head home? Sunday! No. Taker, I just got them to calm down! Yeah, I know, but I have a feeling that today might be worth celebrating a bit. Well, when you put it that way. I can't turn down a sundae. Judgment? What are you asking me for? Of course a sundae sounds delicious. You grin, and with a happy crowd of demons at your back, you make your way back over to the ice cream cart to grab a large-sized sundae for everyone. As the daylight wanes, you all cram on a bench and devour the massive dessert together. By the time you finish, everything is upon you, and everyone is full and ready to head home. I think I might have to skip dinner. Don't let Band of Monica hear that. It was her turn to cook dinner tonight. Frick. Oh, crap, really? You nod. You look really stretched right now. Come on, maybe you'll feel as full by the time we got home. Sirs begins running in circles around the three of you as you head back to the car. Judgment, on the other hand, is silent. It seems as though she's lost in thought. You decide not to bring it up, knowing that she'll talk when she's ready. As you approach the car, Modius quietly slips into the back seat while you and Judgment wrangle Cerberus into the car. Once everyone is ready to go, you lull the edge into life and head home. Once there, Modius and Service are quick to head inside. You move to follow, but Judgment lingers behind, tugging on your shirt sleeve. Hey, Taker. Can I talk to you about something? Sure thing. Is everything okay? Everything is great, actually. Whoa! Okay. Wanted to properly thank you for what you said today. Been struggling with my identity a lot since I left Hell. It's so different here, so much kinder. I was starting to forget why I was acting the way I was in the first place. And so the old me began to resurface. That kind of scared me, if I'm honest. I wasn't sure how you'd react if you knew who I really was, or who I'd been. I'm just happy to know that I was worried for nothing. Judgment looks down at the gauntlets clutched in her hands. Suppose I don't need these anymore, do I? Actually, I think you should keep them. I should? Look, I don't know if you should really look at who you were before and who you became when you earned the title of High Prosecutor as two separate things. At the end of the day, they're both you. Different facets of you, sure, but still you. What I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't have to hide any part of yourself from us. If the kind demon you used to be is still in there somewhere, and I suspect she is, I think you should let her out. But at the same time, I don't know if it's right for you to totally abandon the part of yourself that became High Prosecutor, because that self is just as real. It's not outrageous to think you can be both, so as long as you can feel those two parts of yourself are genuine and can exist at the same time. What I'm trying to say is, you should be bipolar. Goodness. Because at the end of the day, no matter who you choose to be, we will all be here to support you. Okay? Thank you, Taker. I didn't know it before, but I think that's exactly what I've been wanting to hear all this time. I'm glad I didn't burn you alive for all eternity. Me too. And I'm glad I came here to live with you, with everyone. You didn't exactly make it easy for me to make my case. You know, I would apologize if I think you enjoyed yourself at least a little. Maybe a little. But in all seriousness, I hope you know how much your support means to me. I haven't felt this free or comfortable in decades, maybe even centuries. And it's all thanks to you. Well, before you can protest, Judgment throws her arms around you. You are pulled into a warm hug that takes your breath away. And not just because of how hard you're being squeezed. Just accept my appreciation already, okay? Smiling, you bury your face into Judgment's silvery hair. I suppose. You suppose? Very well, you leave me no choice. Judgment breaks the hug and grabs you by the collar. Perhaps this will shut you up for good. She yanks you forward and meets your lips. Whoa! 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 Hold up! Why am I surprised? I'm just saying, this hasn't happened yet. Like, at all. Like, not the official games, none of this. Okay. The last thing you can remember is thinking how effortlessly you melted into that kiss. Jeez, Judgment best girl, let's go! She's my favorite, if you forgot. I'm so happy right now, guys. I really hope the story doesn't take a wrong turn. Let's go. I think what's next was justice. We're gonna do justice next. Okay. I feel good right now. I'm feeling good. Even though it's just a trip to the hobby shop, you find yourself unusually nervous for your upcoming date with Justice. So nervous, in fact, that you end up taking much longer than usual to get ready. As you are comparing two seemingly identical red button downs, you hear a knock at your door. I'm gonna hydrate real quick. Drink water. Yo! You ready yet, Chief? Yeah. Not wanting to keep Justice any longer, you throw on one of the shirts and head out to meet the demon. Alright, let's go. Lead the way then, my dude. Keys in hand, you and Justice skip downstairs and load up into the car. The engine revels to life, and soon you are on the road to the hobby shop. It isn't a terribly long trip, but nevertheless, Justice is quick to fill the air with light conversation. Gotta say, I'm eager to get a feel for the infamous Taker's old stomping grounds. When was the last time you visited the hobby shop? Actually, that's a good question. I used to go to this place all the time, but I stopped going. Was it because of your little vacation in hell? Sorts of things you see down there. Well, they do have a tendency to change a person. No, it wasn't that. It was okay. Honestly, I stopped going to the hobby shop long before I met all you. Oh? What happened to make you quit? It's, oh, we're here. Okay, cool. Nice. As if to save you from answering any uncomfortable questions, the hobby shop edges into view. Nestled in between a pair of old brick buildings, you feel a familiar nostalgic tug at the side of the dilapidated shop. You pull into one of the many parking lots lined up out front. The sign out front is lettering over the windows reads, Hobby Shop. Ready? Yeah, bud. Before Justice can finish her sentence, you hop out of the car and stride up to the front door. The demon lets out an exasperated sigh before following you inside. Okay. Oh, nice. Jeez. Look at all those colors. It's a lot of color here. It's a very colorful color. Wow, look at that. Your arrival is heralded by the chime of a bell, and a familiar voice greets you as you are plunged into the shop's uniquely stale musk. Gramps. What the frick? Gramps. Dear me. Is that really you, my boy? Hey, Gramps. I call you Gramps. Your name is Gramps. Yeah, it's me. Why, I never thought I'd see you walk through those doors again. And yet here you are. Yeah, here I am. Oh, I've missed you, son. Is that my grandpa or is that my dad or his name is Gramps? Okay. It's funny you show up, though. Why is that? Just the other day, someone was asking about you. Asking about me? Mm-hmm. It was a lady. A couple of ladies, actually. At this, the man smirks and wiggles his eyebrow. You pretend not to notice. They saw the picture of you that I keep up here and wanted to know more about it. Proudly, the old man pats the wall behind him. It's labeled Wall of Fame, and below there are several pictures with tiny homemade plaques under each. Amid the images, you spy your own photo, a little larger than the rest near the dead center. Oh. I'm surprised you kept that. But of course I did! It's my pride and joy. Gramps. So you're Taker's grandfather, huh? Oh, who's this? Friend of yours, my boy? No. No. Our relationship is burgeoning. I don't know what that word means. I mean, we're more than a bit beyond friendship, I'd say. Justice lowers her glasses and winks at you over the jet black lenses. Wouldn't you agree, Chief? The forwardness of Justice's statement catches you off guard. Before you can find your bearings and reply, you hear a thunder of a triumphant laughter coming from the old man from behind the counter. Now that's a fine young lady, I'll tell you what. What the frick, Gramps? In the midst of his joy, Gramps claps you on the back with such surprising force that you're nearly knocked off your feet. She's confident, earnest, and gorgeous to boot. What the frick does that even mean? You best treat her well. What the frick? Gramps, shut the frick up, dude. Stop embarrassing me. I'm trying to paint my minis. Bro, stop. Come on. Good, that's what I like to hear. Boy, it's got to be pretty convenient having a family member who works for the hobby shop. About that. Sadly, I'm not actually his grandfather. Though I might as well be, given how much time he used to spend here. But he calls you Gramps? Everyone calls me Gramps around here. Anyway, what brings you guys here today? Don't tell me. You getting back into painting? As a matter of fact. You bet he is! Well, that's great to hear. Let me guess. I have you to thank for this new development, don't I, miss? Nah, I just gave him a little nudge. The rest was all him. Well, I must say that warms my heart to hear. Now, what can I help you find today? I imagine since it's been so long, your paints have gone bad, haven't they? Yeah. Well, that's a pickle. Full restock on paints will cost you a pretty penny. Yeah, I was afraid of that. In any case, the wall's still here. The wall? That it is. I presume you know the way. How could I forget? I must admit it's nice to see that this place hasn't changed much. Gramps grins and nods before walking away. Justice trails behind you. Nestled between the board games and the trading cards is the section dedicated to models and painting. Rows upon rows of box sets lay before you, a veritable cornucopia of tabletop figurines. And in the midst of it all lies the wall. Jeez. Holy frick. Wow, someone drew this. This is dope. Oh, this is cool. Damn. No, this is cool, dude. And the music actually fits. Okay, no, this is cool. The wall. A literal monolith. Towers above you like a technicolor wave. You know, when I was painting minis and other things like terrain for D&D, I can see it. I can see it from here. I can see my paints. Frick. I only bought like red, blue, and yellow paints. I got 5 paints: black, white, red, blue, and yellow, and that was it. And because you know you can make any color with that, but I was like, I saw something similar to this. Definitely not this big. It was just like like one of those tall like tower stack things of paints, like kind of small paints. I was like, why would you buy individual colors? Why can't you just make your own colors? And it is pretty convenient, but I still don't understand why you wouldn't just, you know, buy the 3 main colors and then mix your own paint. But I'm not sure. I don't know much about painting, so that's whatever. Let's see here. To call it a rainbow would be an insult to not only its magnificence, but also the sheer number of pigments it contains. For a while, you find yourself awestruck, and perhaps a little overwhelmed by the sight. This is cool. I like this. I like this. Good artwork. Even Justice, who has stepped forward to inspect the wall with her fingertips, is utterly stricken by its size. How are you supposed to reach? Oh, that's a ladder. Okay. Holy cow. What kind of obelisk is this, Taker? I didn't know you humans could even see this many colors. Wait, how? She's... Okay. I'm almost certain that we can't, and yet there's so many of them. Every pigment known to humankind, and some known only to shrimp. I don't even know where to begin. It's so overwhelming. Whoa there, big guy. Don't zone on me just yet. There's so many colors. Stay with me now. Let's just think about this, okay? Yeah, remember we were talking about all this the other day? Yeah. You went through the different paints with me then, and you mentioned a few of the staples that are used most often, right? Right. Okay. What are those? Shades, metallics, base coats. All right, good. Let's just go from there, shall we? Okay, yeah. You turn to scan the wall for the requisite paints and find that your eyes are quickly drawn to the base coats first. Here we go, base coats. You step forward and begin to load up your hands with numerous tiny bottles. I wonder if I could learn something from this. Okay, metallics next. Yeah, here's some. You grab some more paints, filling your arms. In your haste, some of them escape your grasp and clatter to the floor. Justice is quick to pick them up and sidles up next to you with her arms open. What the frick does sidle mean? What? Here, just hand them to me. I'll hang on to them for you. Thanks. As you pluck paints off the wall, you pass them over to Justice, who begins to ferry them over the counter to you. Before long, you have a nice little pile of paint bottles ready for purchase. All right, then. That was the last of the shades, right? Yep. What's next? Well, now I need to think about what colors I'm going to use for the main body of my figures. That's easy. What's your favorite color? Red. But I think I want to try something different. I see. Well, could I tell you my favorite color? You have a favorite color? Of course I do. I wasn't always blind, remember? Right. So what's your favorite color? Yellow. It reminds me of the flower fields when I was a little demon. Wasn't exactly supposed to visit them, but I also didn't exactly listen. There are flower fields in hell. Just one. And it's more of a meadow, really. Some mortals believe it's only filled with asphodels. But that isn't true at all. In reality, it's filled with all sorts of flowers and rows and bunches of every color you can imagine, stretching from one horizon to the next. Spent a lot of time in that place. Sure, it was no paradise, but when you're a kid in hell, it might as well be, you know? Anyway, I like the sunflowers the most. And though it's been 1,000 years or so, I can still picture the bright yellow petals. I see. Yellow it is then. You turn your attention back to the wall and begin to seek out the yellows. Justice, meanwhile, squeezes your arm affectionately before heading off to drop the last of the paints onto the counter. Is that the last of it? Though you're on the other side of the shop, thanks to the emptiness between you and the counter, you are privy to the conversation between Justice and Gramps. Not quite, but almost. I see. Good. The old man nods in your direction. It's nice to see him again. Has it been that long? Number of years, yeah, at least. What happened? If you don't mind me asking. I'm afraid that's not entirely my story to tell. It's his. I take it he hasn't told you much? No, he hasn't. Give him time. If he hasn't told you yet, I'm sure he will someday. I can see that he trusts you a great deal already. And for good reason, it seems. What about the picture you have of him up there? Can you tell me what that's for? Now that's a fun story. Bit of a long story, mind you, but from the looks of our friend over there, I'm sure you got some time to kill. Guessing you're right about that. Now where to begin? They're doing the same thing, guys. Look, they're both doing the thing, guys. First things first, it's a note important that this is my shop. I've owned it and run it since I was about his age. Nice. My own dad passed it down to me when I got old enough, and it's been in my name ever since. There's not a lot of money in a running hobby shop, of course, but that's also not why I do it. Even so, I ran into some financial trouble a few years back. It's looking like I'd have to close up shop for good before long. What happened? That young man is what happened. When he caught wind of what was going on, he jumped in to help right away. He rallied up all the other regulars in the shop, a bunch of figurine painters like himself, and convinced them to set workstations here in the shop. Then he printed off a bunch of flyers saying that people could come in and have their painting commissions done on the spot. And all that money would go to helping the shop stay open so that these wonderful artists would have an easy way to get the supplies that they needed. How many people showed up? Frankly, miss, I lost count. All I know is that in a couple of weeks, I had enough money to pay out the shop's debts and then some. It was remarkable. All those kind people worked so hard to keep me afloat, and I don't know if I'll ever even repay them. But none of them worked quite as hard as that young man right there. He may not be the best artist out there by a long shot, but he was right there when the rest of them painted his art out. Even after everyone else went home, he stayed behind fulfilling commission after commission. Most folk came in just because they liked his determination. In any case, that's why his picture's up there on my wall. Him and all the others who saved my father's shop. My only regret is I can offer them is a meager discount on painting supplies. It isn't much, but I hope it's enough. Wow. Had no idea. I'm not surprised. The boy's not one to brag, really. He's got a mind to accomplish what he sets out to accomplish, and that's that. Once he has a goal, he'll go to hell and back to make it happen. Don't I know it. Well, thanks for telling me all this, Gramps. Should probably go check on him, though. Make sure he hasn't gotten too transfixed by the wall. It'll get you. A moment later, you feel Justice at your side again. She loops her arm around yours and brushes fingertips against your skin. Jeez, okay. How's it going over here, Chief? Think I'm ready. All right, then, shall we? All right, let's go. With Justice leaning affectionately against you, you make your way up the counter. However, just before you arrive there, something catches your eye, and you drag the procession to a grinding halt. Whoa, what's with the sudden brakes? You didn't reply right away, instead finding yourself so stunned into silence that you cannot muster the words. On the shelf before you sits an enormous set of figurines of all kinds. It's so elaborate that it would take you weeks just to put it together, twice that much to paint it all. Without tearing your eyes from the box, you reach into your pocket and withdraw all the cash that you brought along with you. What is it, Taker? You do a little mental math in your head to see if the set fits into your budget. Too expensive. Your shoulders sag at the realization. You feel Justice step in front of you to lift the set off the shelf. Whoa, this thing is a beast. You sure we can't afford it? Yeah, where does our money come from? How much money do we have? Who's in charge of finances? Who did I make in charge? The treasurer. What the frick? Rats. Even if you put back some of the paints, you look down at the yellow pigments in your hand. Sure, you could put some in the back and it'd give you just enough to be able to buy the set, but then you wouldn't be able to fully paint a set of Sunflower Nights for Justice. Wow. Wow, Sunflower Nights. That's kind of cool. And since it's thanks to her that you're even here at all, you can't feel you owe her at least that much. So you decide to hang on to the paints instead. No, I'd rather hang on to the paints. Got plenty at home to paint anyway. Maybe we can get it some other time. Justice nods and heaves the box back onto the shelf. Without further ado, you approach the counter and prepare to pay. As Gramps is ringing up your things, you catch sights of the picture on the wall and reminded of what the old man said earlier. Hey Gramps, I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about the people who came in and asked about my picture. Well, sure, I suppose. What would you like to know? What did they talk about? Nothing out of the ordinary, just your name and about your time here. Could you tell me anything about specific about their questions? Afraid not, my mind doesn't work like it used to. Could you at least give me an idea what they looked like? Now that I can do. They were really distinctive, I recall. All but one of them, that is. How many were there? 3. One real tall lady dressed like one of them punk rockers. You know, stud bracelets, leather jacket, the works. The other looked like a back alley watch dealer. And the third was unremarkable and yet oddly familiar. I know it sounds crazy, but she reminded me of both the young lady who bags my groceries and the person who works at the bowling alley near down to my house. I see. Well, thanks, Gramps. Good to see you again. You too, son. Hope you'll come back soon. Don't worry, I will. With a smile, you wave farewell and leave the shop. Dude. Outside, Justice stops you by the car. What was that about, Taker? Not sure, but there's something going on around here. I felt like I was being followed for some time now. What Gramps said just now confirms it. I'll fill you in on the way home. Justice nods and hops into the passenger seat. With one last lingering look at the door to the hobby shop, you two get into the car and fire up the engine. As you pull away to head home, you can't shake the feeling that someone somewhere is watching you. This is getting sketchy. This is getting really sketchy right now. Okay, so we got Justice, Judgment. We're gonna do zdrada or Azazel, guys. Like which one next? Let's do Azazel next. Let's do it. Why not? Come on. Okay. In the days following your run-in with the curator at the park, you find it hard to concentrate of anything of significance. Azazel, too, seems particularly distracted by the man's unique plight, so much that her studies have almost completely ground to a halt. Fortunately, a week after your run-in with the curator at the park, you and Azazel finally managed to make time to drive down to the museum. Drink water. Okay. You remember to call, right? I did. He said he would close down the exhibit for us. You left plenty of room to work when we get there. Azazel nods and bounces in her seat. You watch her display of excitement run out of the corner of your eyes. Azazel? Are you sure you're ready for this? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? Well, it's just, this is a big ask, you know. We aren't exactly detectives, or forensic art experts for that matter. Speak for yourself. Pardon. Besides, why can't we be? I think that'd make for a good story, don't you? An angel far from home and a mortal man accustomed to the fires of hell solving vaguely supernatural crimes together. It's a catchy premise. Yeah, I suppose. Seems familiar, though. You haven't been poking around in Mojis' books again, have you? Azazel. It was purely for research purposes, I assure you. But now that you mention it, one of the ones I did read did have a similar plot. With a few key differences, of course. Well, in a way, yes. In a way. It's true, but also in the middle. And the beginning, too. So only slightly different from our current situation, then. For now. Yeah. Wait, what? Look at Mr. Taker over here. Just then, the museum looms into view. Deciding to stash the angel's seemingly innocuous comment away for a further discussion, you focus your attention on the task at hand. Right as you pull into the parking spot, you are greeted by a familiar stout figure. I got it. This guy freaking destroyed my throat, but I'm going to do it anyways. This terrible man assails you as soon as you step out of the car. I can hardly express how happy I am to see you both. We've been waiting by the phone ever since our chance encounter at the park. A chance encounter, was it? Sus. Sorry it took so long for us to come down, Mr. Curator. No need to apologize. You must be busy people after all. In any case, I've shut down the exhibit for you. Much to the chagrin of my superiors. It's all ready for you now. Then I suppose we'll get to work right away. Ready? Ready! We're back. You and Azazel follow the curator up to the art exhibit. True to his word, the place is completely empty. Nothing but silence and the dim flicker of fluorescent bulbs fill the marble hallways. Were you not in the presence of a literal angel, you might have felt a little spooked by the eerie atmosphere. Oh yeah, oh, you're literally an angel. Sometimes I forget that. Actually, I did forget that. No, okay. All right, where shall we start? As I mentioned before, I have suspicions about the validity of a number of pieces in my gallery. Perhaps we can start with those. Either way, you watch the curator scurry off with Azazel in tow. Left to your own devices, you pursue the art until they return. When they do come back from their mission around the gallery, the curator looks to be on the verge of tears. Again. What did you find? The curator is right. At least a dozen of them are all fakes. At this, the man slumps down onto a nearby bench. You, meanwhile, try to ignore his sorrowful display and continue to address Azazel. There has to be more to it than that, right? Now that you mention it, I did notice something that struck me as odd. Oh. Take this painting here, for example. You watch as the angel approaches a nearby piece, licks her finger, and swipes it across the surface of the art. Then she pops her finger back in her mouth and ponders whatever flavor she lifted off the dusty old canvas. The sight makes you grimace.
This painting was done almost exactly 3 weeks ago.
You can tell? How? Actually, never mind. I don't want to know. Are you certain?
I stake my grace on it.
All right. Well, what about the others one? In response, Azazel turns and begins to point out all the other fakes in view. That one was 4 weeks ago. That one 2. That one 7. And this one was just made a week ago. I see. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? We've got an art thief on our hands. An art thief? Oh, just thinking about this gets me all excited. Excited? I mean, deeply concerned. Yeah. Wait, what do you think, Taker? Sounds to me like whoever's taking these pieces needs about a week to make a copy. Then after a new copy is made, they break into the exhibit, replace the painting with their own, and escape with the original. You don't happen to have any security cameras, do you? If we can check the footage, maybe we can start to figure things out. You turn to the curator, but the man silently shakes his head. Boy, budget cuts haven't been kind to you, have they? The curator sniffles and buries his face in his hands, causing you to immediately regret your comment. Before a single tear can be shed, however. Never fear, Mr. Curator, I've got a plan. You do? You do? That I do. And for it to work, we're going to need 3 of those long-range communication devices. Walkie-talkie. Yes, those. As well as a couple of guard uniforms and flashlights and a secluded room. I think I have those. But who's going to wear the uniforms? Why, you two, of course. Then what will you be doing? Oh, don't worry about me. I have my ways of going unnoticed. What? Before we spring into action, don't you want to let us into this plan of yours? All in due time, Mr. Taker, all in due time. Until then, you do trust me, right? Always. Good. Now I'll get suited up and call Lucy to let her know that we won't be home for dinner again. We're camping out in the museum, boys. Gosh. Oh. This is going to be funny. You exchange a worried glance with the art curator, but the two of you shrug and heads off into the office to acquire the necessary supplies. You whip out your phone. Sometime later, the curator returns and tosses you a guard uniform. This is the biggest one I have. Hope it fits. You hold the shirt up against your chest. It's going to be a bit tight, but it'll do. Who's Patrick? One of our old security guards. Nice guy, big, like you. Sadly, he got an acting gig and quit. I wonder what he's doing these days. Gentlemen, focus! Right, sorry. What's the plan, Azazel? The two of you crowd around to hear Azazel's plan. By the time her explanation is finished, closing time is upon you, and shortly thereafter the night descends. According to the plan, you and the art curator are dressed up like security guards, patrolling the halls in place of the actual security guards who are meant to be on duty tonight. Azazel, meanwhile, has hidden herself somewhere in the exhibit.
Is everyone in position?
Her chipper voice echoes out of the contraption on your belt. Yep. Roger.
All right, then. Commence phase 1, the Holy Ghost.
At this time, you turn to the curator a nod. The two of you set off in opposite directions around the museum. For a while, you see nothing and hear only the clacking of your own shoes against the marble floor. And soon enough, however, your radio begins to buzz.
I spotted him. He's in the Botticelli setting, drinking towards Raphael.
Noted. I'm on my way there now. As am I.
Hurry, he's quick. I'm still on his tail.
Won't he see you?
Not as now I know I've made myself invisible to the mortal gaze.
You can do that?
I've spotted him! Excellent. Commence phase 2, the shepherds of the Lord. I'm headed to the pasture now.
Understood. What the frick? What's going on? As you round the next corner, you hear the sound of hurried footsteps. The thief is on the move.
I spooked him towards the exit. Cut him off while you can. We must get him to the pasture.
On it. You loop around and attempt to cut the thief off from his escape. At the sight of your flashlight's beam, you catch the man darting back into the heart of the exhibit. He's headed back to you.
I've got Raphael blocked off.
Then he's got no choice but to go right to...
I'm in position.
Perfect timing.
Our sheep is headed to the pasture.
Azazel lets out a low, sinister chuckle which crackles over the radio.
Excellent. Then it's finally time for phase 3, repentance.
You race for the room that you had all collectively dubbed the pasture. Before you arrive, however, you hear an anguished shriek echo through the exhibit.
What's going on?
I'm closing on the room now. I'll let you know what I see. You double your pace and arrive before a shut door. Inside, you can almost hear the pained sound of choir music coupled with sobbing. Blinding light spills out of the room from the crack below the door. Though you hesitate, afraid of what you might witness, your determination nevertheless spurs you to throw open the door. What you see defies your very perception of reality. Holy frick. Me when the literal angel. Oh my gosh. There's a man on his knees in front of you, facing away from the door you just entered from. His hands are clasped before him, and he is pleading with the being whose visage fills you with such existential dread that you too are brought low. In spite of the fact that no part of her is overtly recognizable, the being is unmistakably Azazel, for this is her true form.
Sir, what do you see? Hello?
Though the radio buzzes with the curator's voice, it is little more than background noise when compared to the boom of Azazel's voice.
You have stolen and lied! Your actions have brought grief upon your fellow man! Repent and make right what has been done, or I will plague your dreams until the dying day.
Yes, I promise I will make things right. Please don't come to me again. It is done. Go. At that, the thief scampers away, heedless of you or anyone else in the... Holy frick! Holy frick! You turn away, only briefly to watch him go, but a bright flash of light brings your attention forward once more. The being is gone, and Azazel, as you knew her, has returned. Sorry you had to see that. Is it wise to just let him go like that? Don't worry about it. I'm sure everything will turn out all right. How can you be so sure? Trust me, if there's one thing we angels are good at, it's terrifying people into living the straight and narrow. Fair enough. You rise and clap the angel on the back. That was a good plan, Azazel. I really should trust you more, shouldn't I? Oh, yes, you should. At this, the angel launches herself at you, hugging you around the middle with such righteous force that it threatens to break you in half. Fortunately, the curator arrives before that can happen.
Well, did our plan work?
Well, I'd say so.
What about the thief? We didn't catch him.
I wouldn't worry about him. Yeah, after what happened, I don't suspect he'll be back.
What about my paintings?
I'd say give it about a week, maybe 2, Mr. Curator, sir. I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised at the benevolence humans are capable of. Especially when it's been bored into them by a holy presence.
If you say so, I suppose I have no reason not to trust you both after everything you've done for me. What will you do now?
At all, I'm wiped.
Me too. Very good. Get some rest, you two. I'll give you a call if anything changes. Before you leave, I should tell you that I've heard we'll be getting a new exhibit within the next couple of weeks. So it looks like I'll be able to make good on my promise sooner than I thought.
We'll look forward to it. See you later, Mr. Curator. And with that, you and Azazel head out into the night. The memory of this adventure burned into your hearts. Holy frick. Holy frick! Oh my gosh. Dude. That was funny. That was funny and fun. Okay. All right. We're gonna do Zdrada next. So we did. Did we do Modius yet? Dude, no. Modius was part of the. Let's do Zdrada next. Okay. Dude, holy frick, that was hilarious. That was funny. Jeez. In light of recent events, hold on, gotta hydrate. Stay hydrated. Drink water. In light of recent events, Lucifer has called a house meeting over dinner. Of the demons who are attending, only Malina is missing. You've made extra rare Salisbury steak in hopes of placating some of the less happy demons, or at least giving them an outlet. The gnashing of meat does little to dissuade the Queen of Hell, whose voice cuts through the commotion like a knife. I've brought you all together tonight to speak on the important issue. As many of you now know, Lucifer inclines her head towards Cerberus, who does not meet her gaze, or in some cases have witnessed firsthand. The former archdemon of greed, Mammon, has been spotted in the area. Mammon is one of the 4 dethroned lords of hell expelled by Justice and I some 600 years ago. That was back in the good old days. I remember I took on Abaddon the Slothful in a winner-take-all punch-out. What the frick? After their defeat, we stripped them all of but their most basic powers and turned them out of hell and into the mortal plane. You can't be seriously concerned about Mammon. As far as the Akashic records are concerned, she gave up without a fight after the decisive victory of Justice over Abaddon. If Cerberus and Taker can handle her, I'm surely she's poses no credible threat to the rest of us. Cerberus casts a miserable glance your way. Obviously, the rest of the assembled demons have yet to hear the specifics of your ill-fated last encounter with Mammon. On the contrary, the appearance of Mammon has me greatly concerned, more so even than the appearance of the other demon lords. Mammon's a coward through and through, which means her brashness is backed up by one or more of the demon lords. But you said that you stripped their powers away. Even united, how could they harm us? Lucifer shakes her head. Though it pains me to admit it, I do not know. However, their leader, Sathanas, has an incredibly wrathful nature. Her spite is not to be underestimated at any cost. Justice puts a hand on Lucifer's shoulder, but the Queen of Hell brushes it off impatiently. Regardless of the practical threat they may impose, I know their goal is to be singular. They want to reclaim what I took from them so long ago. They want the throne of hell. I remember we talked about this on our first date. That was like 60 days ago, huh? About how people are always trying to come for it, huh? To rule in brimstone and anarchy as they once did 666 years ago, stopping them is critical if we... Lucifer is cut off by an unnecessarily noisy cough from across the table. Flanked by Cerberus, Zdrada smirks as she stubs out the smoldering butt of her cigarette on an outstretched tongue. Oh, what? Jeez. Meeting Lucifer's eyes full on, Zdrada speaks her piece. Yeah, we. You keep using that word, but funny thing, I can't really see what this has to do with the rest of us, boss. We're all in this together, Zdrada. Oh, Zdrada shoots to her feet, slamming her palms down on the old wooden table. Wrong, this isn't about us. This is about you keeping your hold of power. A couple of sympathetic murmurs, mostly from Cerberus, sound from the rest of the table. It looks like Zdrada's words have struck resonant nerves among the assembled demons. I'm gonna let her cook, but I have a feeling that this may be bad. I'm gonna let her cook. You sit back in your seat. Maybe under pressure from the table, Lucifer will let something slip. Before I took the throne of hell, there was nothing but anarchy. The 4 demon lords were content to let the rest of hell churn, the primordial cauldron where only the strong survived. Nobody asked for you to come in and take over hell, you know. Uh-oh, drama. Uh-oh. You and your cohort are all the thought you were so forward-thinking, but the moment you actually got some power, it all went to your head. Why, you ungrateful whelp. Under my guidance, hell ran like a well-oiled machine. Might was no longer the sole purveyor of right. Me and my sister lives weren't easier under your oh-so-benevolent rule. Far from empowering us, your insurrection stripped me of my only method of taking care of those around me. Crime. Okay. Zdrada sits back in her chair, arms folded defiantly. And now you want us to act as your shields? I ain't deaf. I heard the stories about your ascent to the throne. Let me assure you, I ain't planning on falling on any blade meant for you. Frick that and frick you! I don't take orders from falling despots. I don't know what that means. Lucifer takes a deep breath. Turning away from Zdrada, she addresses the table at large. Assemble demons, leave the room. I wish to speak in private with Zdrada. Oh, hey, bro. Bro, that's literally... Zdrada, I'm... That's like literally Satan right there. How are you going to... Why would you... Frick. Nodding to Lucifer, Justice sees the other demons exit the room before squeezing your shoulder reassuringly. Try to keep him from throwing down in the kitchen, okay? It's my night to do the washing out. So they left. I guess assembled demons doesn't include us, does it? Leaving you feeling rather drastically unprepared for what is about to happen. Justice leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Taking a deep breath, Lucifer addresses her staunch critic. It appears you still have to learn humility in the presence of your social betters. Seeing as we have a common cause, I'm willing to let this slide this once. In exchange, you shall... With the vibrant quick speed of her hands, Zdrada hurls her glass of wine at Lucifer's head. Fortunately for both parties, her aim is off course, and the glass misses Lucifer by a good 6 inches before hitting the far wall, exploding into crystalline shards. I shall do as I always have! Exactly what I please! Lucifer jumps to her feet, her face burning red. Insubordination! If I were back in hell, I'd have you publicly flayed for such arrogance! Zdrada barks out a harsh laugh, but her shoulders are tensed, ready to launch another assault if Lucifer shows any signs of making good on her threat. Don't threaten me with a good time, boss. Oh yeah, I guess we all forgot, didn't we? Besides, you can't really do frick to command us in this world. The others may follow you out as some kind of psychophantic loyalty, okay? But this here gal knows what she's worth. I ain't really looking to be your bottom brick here on Earth. That's why you sent them away, ain't it? You don't want them to see that they can't back you up back up your threats outside of hell. You're clinging to the hope that either their fear or respect of you is enough to keep them in line. Well, I've got bad news for you, Queenie. We're running dry in both accounts. Stop! By my authority of goddamn Queen of Hell, I command you to stay! Zdrada hesitates by the door, poised to leave. Shrugging, she turns around to launch one final acerbic barb at Lucifer before turning once more and departing. Or what? If you could have stopped me, you would have done so already. Ciao, losers. I'm the goddamn Queen of Hell. I'm the goddamn Queen of Hell. What time? Silence reigns for a full minute in the room. Lucifer does not meet your gaze, and she's clenching her hands so tightly her knuckles have gone white. Lucy, don't... Ah! In a single feral motion, Lucifer sweeps her hands upwards, bringing them crashing down into the table with terrible force. Cracks radiate outwards from the impact. The sturdy wood of the table, no match for Lucifer's temper. Still breathing heavily, Lucifer screws her eyes shut. Slowly, over the course of the next few moments, she pulls herself together. Her breathing slows and her hands unclench. Eventually, her eyes once again open, still seething with repressed frustration. When her words finally return to her, they come slowly, barely making it through her tightly clenched teeth. Frick. Impulsive as always. That woman still thinks her agenda's the only one that matters. Remind me again why you decided to bring her along? She's gonna kill me. She's gonna... Save scum! Time travel! She makes a fair point. You never seem to take the perspective of others into consideration. Lucifer's eyes flash dangerously. Excuse me? She's certainly a handful, but... I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm the only person who sees value in her actions. Well, maybe if you took the time to learn more about her, she'd stop giving you such a hard time.
You dare suggest that I, CEO of Hell, do not care about my subjects? I may have a soft spot for you, mortal, but choose your next words extremely carefully.
My point is that there may be something going on that we aren't understanding. Just pushing her down isn't going to solve anything. We should take some time to learn what could be causing her to lash out like this.
An excellent idea, Taker. And since I'm so busy right now, I do appreciate your volunteering to see to this matter personally.
I'll speak with her. Okay, all right. Lucifer steeples her fingers, peering over them and across the table at you.
It's not only zdrada. We need to close ranks.
And a fondness for you seems to be the only thing we all have in common.
If the four are seeking to hurt me, there'll be extension by looking to hurt you.
I'll see what I can do.
Time is of the essence.
I'll keep the rest of the girls busy so they won't interfere with your talk with zdrada whenever you choose to have it.
Wait, is this going to take me back to the menu?
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder why did they give me the choice to do that? Let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Yeah, let's do it right now. Okay. Realizing you can't put it off any longer, you inform Lucifer that you're going to try talking with zdrada. It's about time. I'll take the other girls out of the house so they won't interrupt you two. Thanks. Steeling yourself, you once make your way out to Zdrada's old camper. Stopping a foot from the entrance, you extend your hand and rap politely on the paint-chipped frame of the screen door. I'm going to hydrate real quick.
Drink water.
Okay. Zdrada, you and I need to have a little talk. This time, no answer comes from the disheveled abode. Curious, you peer inside one of the windows. Zdrada's nowhere to be seen. The only sign of her is a cigarette butt poking out of an overflowing ashtray. It's still gleaming and smoking a trail of wispy gray. What? It's still gleaming and smoking a wisp. Okay, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna go inside. All right. Hey, what's up? Wincing at the squeak the rusty hinges make, you push the door aside and enter the camper. You pick your way over the carpet of knickknacks and rubbish, investigating what little mystery the camper can hold. It doesn't take long before your initial suspicion is confirmed. Zdrada is absent from the camper. I'm gonna be snooping around a girl's room. I don't want to do that. You poke around a little more, looking for any clues to her.
Now we're looking for clues, guys.
Clues to her current location when something catches your eye. A covered object, roughly the size of a small tea kettle, stands at the center of an unusually clear table. Curiosity overcoming you, you turn towards it, reaching for the small sackcloth obscuring the item from your view. You throw yourself to the ground, trying in vain to minimize the sound by clapping your hands over your ears, but the horrible sound pierces right through your hands as though they weren't even there, lashing you with wave after wave of noise. Then as suddenly as it started, the sound disperses, leaving the room in relative quiet. 5 deep marks have been gouged into the window of the camper. The parallel lines have been cut deep in the glass, almost as, with dawning comprehension, you put down your own hand up to the markings, comparing them. The cuts mirror your fingers in a shape, if not in size, confirming your theory someone or something has raked razor-sharp nails down the side of the camper. Judgment's gauntlets? Out in the darkness, something moves. From the edge of the clearing, a black shape emerges. By now, it is too dark to make clearly out what the object, but whatever it is, it suddenly begins moving towards the trail at a breakneck speed. You fumble around the cabin, searching for something, anything to use as a weapon. You pick up a folding chair and holding it like a professional wrestler, prepared to brain whatever ravenous monster is about to enter. Zdrada bursts through the door, diving onto the ground just in time to avoid your impulsive swing with the chair. Rolling over, she kicks the door closed with one boot before crawling up the frame and slamming the deadbolt into place. She looks up at you, breathing heavily, and gestures at the chair still gripped in your hands. Never would have thought of using a chair for foreplay. You crack me up. Zdrada, I am so sorry. I thought you were... Yeah, I figured as much. Which, by the way, is why you're currently all a pile of cinders joining the ash on my rug. Feeling foolish, you dropped the chair. Did you see anything out there? No, but I sure as hell sensed it. Something big's out there in the woods. I ain't one to shirk from a fight, but for a second a rare emotion crosses Zdrada's face. Uncertainty. The expression disappears as quickly as it arrived, but and Zdrada closes her eyes as if listening intensely. After a moment she speaks. I don't sense it anymore. Whatever it is, it's gone for now. No point in splitting hairs over it. Striding over to the card table, Zdrada plucks a covered object from the surface, sliding it under her bed as she moves to join you on the floor. Offering no explanation, Zdrada lights herself a cigarette, now at ease. So what brings you out to my home this time? And if to say it's because of Lucifer, fair warning, I'm gonna hurl. Okay. Came to see if you were doing all right. You've been far more aggressive and, well, Zdrada than usual, you know. What can I say? I got a rep to maintain, which is exactly why I'm here alone. Plausible deniability. No one to corroborate my story. So why don't you spill the beans, Zdrada? What have you been keeping secret all this time? Zdrada looks at you, exuding an emotion you can't quite place. She takes a long drag on her cigarette, puffing out a cloud of smoke before she replies. Fine. You want to help so bad, I ain't about to stop you. But this stays between the two of us. If just one person in this house hears about this, I'll light a pen to Monica and tell her you whack off into her morning coffee. That is a nuclear approach, yes, but I promise what happens in this trailer stays in this trailer. Satisfied with your answers, Zdrada turns around, rummaging around under her bed for the object she had so recently stowed away. After a moment of grabbing for it, Zdrada extracts herself from underneath the bed, a small ugly pot clutched between her hands. Inside the pot is a familiar, prickly shape. It's a lot of cigarettes. It's some sort of demonic writing. A drawer full of cigarettes. A coat hanger. Broken lamp. Trash bags. Clothes. Thing. And more writing. Okay, cactus. Okay. That's the cactus we got from the gardening center. But I thought Malina threw it away. Zdrada let out a short hiss of frustration. She did. After the two of you went to bed, I went to fish it out of the trash. And I mended the pot as best as I could, but Zdrada turns the pot to catch the moonlight filtering through the shutters. In the light, you can see the cactus is missing a significant portion of its stem. Yellowed veins cut off from their water source run outwards from the mangled base of the spiny plant. I don't think I can fix this. Head lowered in something resembling shame, Zdrada extends her arm, pressing the pot on you. Fix it, please. I've been trying, but I'm no good at keeping things alive. Must be messing something up somehow, but you can save it, right? Gingerly, you take the ill-mended little pot from Zdrada and peer at the plant inside. The little cactus isn't doing too well. The impact from Malina throwing it against the wall had ruptured its stem, nearly cutting it in two. While both halves are still connected by a thin band of fiber, it was obvious, even to an untrained eye, that the cacti's time on this planet is coming to an end. It's dying. Don't you think I can see that? I've tried everything! Everything! Herbal remedies, sunshine, experimental fertilizer, but it just keeps dying. Is it too much to ask for something that'll stay with me? For something that I know will just get up and leave me behind one of these days? Her shoulders slump. If I can't even convince this plant that I'm worth sticking around, what am I even doing with you and the rest of this house? Is this really about the plant? Yes? No. Oh, this is so confusing. I'm not used to this self-reflection. Oh. The heavy impact startles Zdrada out of her meditation. Both of you turn towards the entrance of the trailer. The door rattles with another thump. That's strange. Lucifer told me she was taking the rest of the girls out of our way. Is there an emergency at the house? You reach for the door and Zdrada shoots to her feet and her eyes suddenly wide with alarm. Take her, wait! Don't open the... Too late.
The door is already partway open by the time you catch what Zdrada is trying to tell you. Your attempts to reseal the door are interrupted by a slender hand forcing its way through the open crack. Gripping the frame, the hand pushes hard. Though you struggle and leverage every bit of your bulk, trying to prevent the door from opening, the effort... Hold on, I gotta save. I gotta save right here. I gotta save right here. Hold on. The effort is like trying to hold back a landslide. Slowly you give around and eventually you surrender the losing battle. Leaving back to Zdrada's side, you prepare yourself as the door opens. On the other side of the door, bathed in moonlight, stands a strange demon. The first thing you notice about her is her size. She's a full head shorter than even Malina, making her the smallest demon you've seen by far. Oh, wait, that was the scary one. The second thing you notice is about her horns. Rigid and thin, they stick straight up from her skull like skewers, partially making up for the height differential. The strange demon smiles an altogether too wide smile and lightly skips over the door frame. Oh no! Oh frick! Are we gonna have to 1v1 here? Oh frick! Oh frick! Are we gonna duel in the trailer? Thanks for letting me in. I've been trying to get your attention all night. Who are you? What are you doing in our house? The demon sneers at you before lowering her knees and curtsying to Zdrada, her face a porcelain mask of false innocence. I'm Belfgor. Oh, right. The funny name. Belfgor. But my friends call me Belle. I'm going to call you Belle, not Belly or whatever the frick. That name sounds familiar. Suddenly it clicks. Lucifer mentioned your name. You're one of the deposed loads of hell. Belfgor wags a finger at you reproachfully. Up. Introduce yourself to a lady before you start groveling at her feet, gorilla man. Who does this brat think she is? Helltaker. The hell is silent. Wait, Taker. The hell is silent. What the frick? And I'm... Zdrada is cut short by Belfgor, who twirls excitedly on the spot. Zdrada, I know. I used to tune into your fights onto the Hellivision. You were quite the pit brawler back in the day. A girl after my own heart. Really? Thanks. You aren't liking this. Every moment Belfgor spends talking is like a moment a trap could be closing around you. You decide to get to the point. Come to deliver some kind of threat then? If that was the case, you should have brought the rest of your cronies. Don't need them. I'm more than enough to take all you guys on. Striding forward, Zdrada leans over, patting the demon on the head as one would of a precious child. You can't lie to us. We know you're just a shell of a demon you used to be, short stack. So why don't you go and take this comedy routine and mosey on down the road, huh? Belfgor reaches up and lays a hand on Zdrada's wrist, gripping it loosely. I'll say this once because I'm nice. Don't make fun of my size. Her fingers tighten and Zdrada winces before Belfgor gently removes the taller demon's hand from her head. Belfgor beams up at Zdrada as if nothing had happened. I'm here because I want to offer you the deal of a lifetime. Wouldn't the deal be more mammon-stick as the demon of greed? Belfgor's nose wrinkles as she just smelled something particularly unpleasant. More like the demon of being a crybaby loser. What an insult. Once more, Belfgor plasters a cheery expression on her face as she resumes her pitch. You're a woman of impulse, freedom. I like that. Why don't you dump this queen and the incredible gorilla man and come shack up with me instead? Your talents are obviously wasted here, and I really need a strong lieutenant. You need me? Belfgor clasps Zdrada's hands between her own, nodding enthusiastically. Of course, silly. Both of us are way ahead of our time, both created to indulge in physical and distinctly mortal vices. Have you ever wondered why your magic works so well here? There's no end to the gluttony we can indulge in nowadays. Zdrada. In a flash, Belfgor crosses the distance between you. Grasping your shirt with deceptively powerful hands, Belfgor hoists you off the ground with no apparent difficulty. Quiet, ape! Let the lady make the decision for herself! Oh! Holy frick. You wriggle like a landed fish, trying to wrench yourself from Belfgor's grasp, but the former Lord of Hell only laughs. A strange chittering noise that reminds you of cicadas in summertime. Looking up at your struggles, Belfgor licks her lips, a smile widening. Oh, maybe I didn't lie. You are pretty cute up close. Good enough to eat, even. Maybe there is room for you back at my place, depending on what Zdrada chooses, of course.
Turning her back on the two of you, Zdrada lights a cigarette with the snap of her fingers, inhaling deeply. The inevitable exhalation of smoke is accompanied by a deep belly laugh. You think you could just waltz in here with your holier-than-thou attitude, manhandle my man, and expect me to just bend over and take it? Sorry, but you must have got the wrong memo. I ain't fixing to be anyone's bottom, bruh. Threatening Taker won't persuade me either. Man traveled to hell and back, in case you didn't know. So, I seriously doubt a pipsqueak like you can threaten him. Belfcore's eyes dilate in sudden fury. Pivoting around on one foot, she cocks back the hand wound into your blazer. Do not call me pipsqueak! Whirling on the spot, she hurls you into the door of the camper. Oh, the old rustle hinges snap under the impact, sending you and the door flying across the backyard. You hit the ground with a thump and roll over several times before you manage to arrest your momentum. You manage to get your bearings and look at the camper, where Belfcore is peering curiously out at you. Steam is boiling off Zdrada's hand, and she's only seconds away from launching an offensive of her own. Ooh, I hope that didn't mash him up too badly. I hate picking shards of bone out of my meat. Eat free! Oh! Oh! Flame cloaks Zdrada's hands, coalescing into a small nova in her right palm. Rolling her shoulders, Zdrada sweeps her arm forward, sending a ball of flame blazing towards Belfcore. Oh, protecting your man, how cute! Raising one hand, the twin-tailed demon intercepts the fireball. White-hot flames cascade from her outstretched fingers, leaving her unharmed by the blow. Smoke billows up from the old dusty carpet. Whoopsie! You should really be more careful when using fire. It has a tendency to get out of hand. Even as she speaks, flames begin to spread all over the floor, licking over the detritus that covers the camper like 100 hungry tongues. Snatching out the potted cactus with her free hands, Zdrada calls out to where you lay, still crumpled on the grass. Frick! Hey, Taker! Where do you keep the fire? Her head towards you. Zdrada doesn't need enough time to react to Belfcore's movements. In a single blazingly flash motion, the little demon delivers a vicious sucker punch to Zdrada's ribs. The impact snaps out in a concussive blast and Zdrada is sent flying out of her home, landing in a heap alongside you. Oh! The flames have reached the curtain, sneaking up in ancient fabric and filling the little mobile home with smoke. From out of the flames, eyes aglow, steps Belfcore, clutching something in her hand. As she stalks towards you, ashen white hair silhouetted against the inferno the camper has become, she sings to herself. Poor little Taker, gonna meet your maker. Wonderful treat for Belle to eat. Kneeling down, Belfcore picks you up by your hair, praising your condition with a practiced eye. Normally I prefer my snacks post-coitus, but you don't look like you're in any shape to put on a good show. Her mouth gapes wide, revealing rows upon rows of razor-pointed teeth. Bon appetit! Belle, hold on a minute! At the sound of the voice, Belfcore growls in irritation. Turning from it, she turns back to address a familiar figure lounging against the burning trailer. Oh, the weakling wants to step in and stop me from having my fun? You're welcome to come try it, Mammon. Whoa. We have new orders from the boss. He says the man might be useful in negotiations. He's off limits, Belle, at least for now. Belfcore relinquishes her grip on your hair, letting gravity carry you none too gently to the ground. Fuming, she spins to face Mammon, seizing onto her moldy coat. Belfcore hoists the lanky demon into the air in much the same manner she did you. Your release is beginning to chaff, Mammon. Let's not forget who calls the shots here, whoa, easy there, comrade of mine. Let's just put Mammon down nice and gentle now, okay? Won't intervene again, you have my word. Please put me down, Belfcore. Belfcore smiles sweetly at the suspended demon, and you see her knuckles whiten as she tightens her grip. Groveling, really now? Have you no pride as a demon? I didn't think I once considered you an equal. We can't. I'll be obsessed with your remarkably indiscriminate taste, Belfcore. The rest of us prefer quality over quantity. Is that so? And this revelation comes from a do-nothing loser with no knowledge of either, so I know it can be trusted. Be that as it may, it's really worth pissing Xanthus off for just for a moment of indulgence. With a snarl, Belfcore drops Mammon to the ground. Turning back to you for a moment, you think she'll lunge for you to finish the job, but Belle eventually appears to assert some manner of control over herself. Smoothing the creases out of her skirt, she turns and walks past Mammon and into the forest. Nice playing with you, Taker! Mammon, I'm leaving. Play your boring politics if you must. Mammon takes a step backwards, cringing away from the petite demon as she walks by. Even as Belfcore departs from the scene, Mammon's eyes warily follow her until she disappears out of sight. Bending down, Mammon offers you a hand, pulling you to your feet with little in the way of apparent effort. So suddenly we're all buddy-buddy? You better start talking fast. The others should be coming home any minute, and you don't want to be here when they arrive. Mammon grins and opens her mouth, presumably to lance you with a nettling retort. But after a moment's thought, she closes it again. She shakes her head and looks you dead in the eye. This isn't how things were supposed to go, enemy of mine. Like hell, we're intimidated by that malformed little... what? The zdrada's tirade is halted by the hand Mammon forces over her mouth. Kneeling down, the lanky demon shakes her lightly. Are you as dense as you look? Listen, gal, Belle likes you, but if you can't keep your tongue on a leash around her, she's liable to rip it out. The zdrada growls up at the other demon and bites down on her hand, causing Mammon to jerk it away. Ah! Fine on your own head, be it. Fine on your own head, be it then. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay. Massaging her freshly injured hand, Mammon turns to you. Tell Lucifer that if she doesn't give us what's ours, today's just the beginning. She has 1 week to meet our terms, or there'll be hell to pay. With that ominous pronouncement, Mammon leaves the scene. Puns like that must get really old in hell. I'm like, okay. Anyways. Turning to zdrada, you see her cradling the cactus in her hands. Miraculously, the pot survived the flight from the burning trailer. However, the plant inside looks even far worse. The flickering of the slowly receding fires casting an unhealthy parlor over the little cactus. We'll save it. Zdrada looks over at you, a glimmer of hope creeping into her eyes. I promise we'll do everything we can to save it, alright? If I have to go back into hell to wrench the soul of that plant from the eternal pits, I'll do it. Zdrada gives a small, sad chuckle and wipes her eyes, trying in vain to disguise the moisture building up in them. You're really dumb, you know that? But thanks. Holy frick. That should have been like the end. Huh. Okay. Well, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay. You can't stop thinking about all that Pen and Monica told you the other day. Her words occupy your thoughts to such a degree that you find yourself going out of your way to do research on the matter. However, after exhausting the local library of all the resources regarding demonology and earning more than a few concerned looks from the librarians there, you turn to the only place depraved enough to have what you're looking for. The internet. Alas, even that proves to be unfruitful. Unsurprisingly, there isn't much in the way of academic papers around the study of actual flesh and brimstone demons. Certainly, you could turn to Lucy or one of the others living under your roof for some insight, but you're hesitant to air Pen and Monica's personal issues out for all to hear. So instead, you seek out the only other person you can think of who, driven by obsessive curiosity, would know just as much about demons as the very denizens of hell itself. Fortunately, you managed to find her all in this perfectly intact trailer that nothing happened to, right? Okay. You find her alone in the garden, crouched over the azaleas with her notepad. Clutched tightly in one hand and plucked flower in the other. You come upon her just as she's about to lick one of the petals. Okay. Drink water. Okay. Oh, hello, Mr. Digger. Oh, hey. What are you doing there? Oh, this? Just a bit of research. Right. Can I help you with something? Actually, yeah, there's something I'd like to ask you about. If you have a minute, of course. It's something personal. Personal? Not about me. It's about Pen and Monica, actually. Oh, dear. She hasn't found my backup research file, has she? What? No. Wait, what backup research file? What? No, never mind. It's best if I don't know. No, what I wanted to talk about is regarding demonology. You see, Pen and Monica told me something the other day. I'm not sure what to do with the information. Tried digging into it on my own in the hopes of understanding the situation better, but I couldn't get very far. So naturally you came to me, the leading demonology expert in the universe. Well, I am flattered, Mr. Taker. Though I must admit it's rather presumptuous of you to assume that the esteemed academic such as myself isn't too busy to help you. As you know, I'm rather swamped with my work on my thesis as you were eating flowers in the backyard. Oh, Well, I don't mean to put too much on your plate if you're too busy. I mean, I could find someone else.
Wait, no! Yeah, I mean, while I would normally be too busy for such a request, you just so happen to have caught me right as I'm about to take my lunch break. So why don't you whip us up a couple of sandwiches, and I'll listen to your conundrum, huh?
Fine, give me a minute. You pop inside the house and return a moment later with a couple of thrown together ham and cheese sandwiches. After handing one plate to Azazel, you sit down on the grass next to her. In between bites of your lunch, you launch into a thorough explanation detailing the time you spent with Pan and Monica thus far and everything she revealed to you on the last date. Aside from asking a few clarifying questions here and there, Azazel is shockingly silent up until your tale has come to an end.
This is all very interesting indeed. I have a few theories, but before I get into that, what exactly are you hoping to gain from this taker?
Answers, I suppose.
And what will you do with those answers?
I just want to help. Maybe it isn't my place to interfere, but I also know that I can't just sit by and watch her suffer.
That's really admirable of you, Mr. Taker. I'm sure that even if you fail to make a difference, she'll appreciate the effort.
Hope so.
Now, on to my theories. As it stands, I believe the primary reason for Pan and Monica's affliction is thanks to the influence of Hell exerts over its denizens, whether they remain within its direct boundaries or not. Therefore, it stands to reason that in order to ease her particular malady, what the frick? What is that? Malady? I don't know what that word means. You need to lessen Hell's metaphorical grip over her. The easiest way to do this is to distance her from Hell.
So I just need to bring her somewhere that's far away from Hell as possible. Like a really tall mountain.
Yeah, that's one way of thinking about it, I suppose. But I'm afraid it isn't quite so simple. Sure, putting physical distance is one way of alleviating her plight. But is that really sustainable? I think we should really focus on is either aesthetic or emotional distance. Either you can make her immediate surroundings the very antithesis of Hell. Holy frick. Or you can replace the lingering feelings of her time in Hell with something totally different. In doing so, you may be able to make the voices stop.
The antithesis of Hell? How am I supposed to accomplish something like that?
I realize this is far easier said than done, but fear not, I have a couple ideas that can help you. Based on what you've told me and my knowledge of Hell itself, I think you two have avenues for which you can pursue. Firstly, bring her somewhere that is opposed to the dark and drab image of Hell. That, I believe, is much why her malady subsided on your walk the other day. The beautiful scenery and the cold brought her away from Hell's clutches, giving her space. Okay, cool. All right. And the second option, that one is a little more tricky, but also it's likely to prove more effective.
Okay, what is it?
If you can elicit feelings of joy, contentment, affection, and even love, it is likely you'll be able to permanently ease her disquiet. But it is difficult to say if this will succeed since it hinges on her reciprocating those feelings.
I see. Thank you, Azazel. You've given me a lot to think about.
Anytime! If there's anything else I can do, just let me know.
Actually, there's one more thing that you can do for me.
Of course, what is it?
You've got a bathing suit, right? Pool episode? Beach episode?
Yeah.
Good. Pack up your suit, towel, a couple umbrellas, meet me by the car in half an hour.
What are you planning, Mr. Taker?
You'll see. Also find Pan and Monica for me and get her to pack up her things as well. We're going to take a little trip.
With that, you leave Azazel to go into the house and track down Judgment. With her help, you wrangle service into the kitchen so that the three of you can begin preparing a basket of sandwiches, snacks, and wine. And you gather your own bathing suit, a couple of beach-related activity items for loading up everything into the car. It's the beach episode. Holy frick. True to her word, Azazel meets you out there with a very groggy Pan and Monica in tow. So Pan and Monica's the beach episode. Holy frick. Oh my gosh. Okay. Holy frick, beach episode. What is your swimsuit? What the frick is that? What the frick? Is that? It's like a candy cane.
I love Judgment.
But what the frick? It's like a candy cane. What the frick? How does that even work? Okay. All right, everybody. Okay. All right, we're going to the beach. Okay, cool. All right. And why are we all standing here in our bathing suits?
Hop on in, you'll see. Pan and Monica pauses to glare at you before sliding into the passenger seat. Satisfied that no one has gotten hurt yet, you hop behind the wheel.
What? It's like a candy. It just wraps it. What about this part?
You can't. I'm not. Okay. I just want you to be happy with it. You're happy with it, right? You like it, and I like it too. It's great. No, no. I'm serious. Like, okay, it's good. Okay, just don't look at me like that. Why are you looking at me like that? Okay. The car rumbles alive, and you set off. No, really. Like, nice bathing. I'm not like complaining. I'm just saying. For the first leg of your long journey, service and judgment war over territory. In the backseat, while Azazel regales you with all sorts of obtuse facts about the scenery you pass by. Phantom Monica is unsurprisingly silent as she stares out the window. You cannot tell if she is grumpy, skeptical, or both. Eventually, the skirmishes in the backseat come to an end, and even Azazel falls into silence as you draw nearer to your destination. At last, after nearly an hour of driving, you pull off the main road onto a narrow side street, which brings you closer to the smell of salt air. Soon you are able to hear the sound of crashing waves and decide that it is a good time to park. All right, everyone. We got a bit of a walk to go, so grab what you can. Promise you won't want to make a return trip. Why are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me?
Where in the world have you brought us, Taker?
Phantom Monica, do you mind grabbing the picnic basket for me? It got my hands spit full with the towels.
Don't dodge the question like that, mortal. Surely you don't think that I'm foolish enough to fall for that. Hey, answer me! Taker, don't just walk away from me.
God. You grab what you can and hurry out of the car. Then, with everyone following closely behind you, you lead the way on a trek through a sparse grove of trees and past a wall of high boulders until you feel your feet sink into the sand. Here we are.
Whoa!
Upon setting their sights on the beach, Cerberus drops everything they are holding, tosses off their sandals, and charges forth into the water.
Wait for me! Hey! Don't just drop everything and run off!
Grumbling judgment manages to gather up everything Cerberus dropped and lug it for the rest of the way. This is... You like it? It's... Phantom Monica turns to you and meets your gaze. At once she seems to understand what it is you're really asking. Quiet. I really appreciate this, Taker, but listen, if they come back, then so be it. There isn't much we can do about that. But for now, try to put all of that in the back of your mind and just enjoy yourself. You reach in the basket hanging off of Phantom Monica's forearm and pull out a thermos. Here, I backed you some coffee. Now go relax, okay? Thank you. You nod and watch Phantom Monica walk off to set up the blankets, and a shout draws your attention to Judgment, chasing Cerberus through the shallow water, running circles around a crouched Azazel.
Come back here, you!
What the frig is going on here? It's like we're having fun. Wow, you're very concerned. Why did you bring your gauntlets? Did you just always bring them wherever you go, or like? I don't know. Okay.
Quit running like that. You're scaring away the specimens.
Judgment's just about to toss her chains out at the mischievous trio where you whistle for her attention. As she turns to you, you withdraw a disc from the bag on her shoulder and toss it to her. And she catches it out of the air and returns a thankful wave. With one fluid motion, Judgment hurls the disc down on the beach. Cerberus pauses only a moment to watch it go, then practically tramples over herself to pursue it. You, meanwhile, go to help Phantom Monica unpack everything. Never been to a beach before. Aside from the banks of the river Styx, of course, which aren't necessarily pleasant. We don't have anything like this. Where are all the people? Are your beaches always so bare? No, they aren't. Technically speaking, this isn't really a public beach. It belongs to some heiress and her boyfriend. Their house is a little ways inland. But they almost never come down here. Supposedly he doesn't really like the sand for whatever reason. Anyway, I used to sneak down here when I was younger to get a little bit of beach time to myself. I see. It's peaceful with the added flair of potential being caught. I like it. You've done well. So, what do humans tend to do in a place like this? I'm glad you asked. With a grin, you pull off your shirt and toss off your sandals. Then you beckon Phantom Monica to follow you as you jog down to the water. Though hesitant at first, the demoness follows you. For a while, you are content to stand where it's shallow and watch the waves crash against your ankle. But soon, you take Phantom Monica's hand and bring her further into the surf. What? from the look on her face, you gather that she's not a terribly experienced swimmer. So rather than bring her deep enough that the waves could sweep her away, you settle for sticking to where the water is only as high as your waist. This is surprisingly pleasant. Do you know how to swim? I do. Could you show me? Sure, here, let me show you how to float on your back first. Just as you reach out to bring Panda Monica closer to you, something lands on the water between you. A familiar disc-shaped object. Is that? I think so. Look out, guys! Oh, before you can react, Cerberus plows into both of you at top speed, knocking you into the water. Somehow you manage to snag Panda Monica under the water and drag her to the surface, cradled in your arms. Oh, nice. Huh. Cool. All your hair is wet. Your hair's wet. Everyone's hair is wet. Wet hair heaven. Oh, this is fun. Okay, sure, yeah. It's cool. Sorry. It's alright. Like hell it's alright. I could have drowned. Come here, you! Oh, Panda Monica squirms out of your grasp and launches herself at Cerberus. The trio scamper off at a surprising pace, and you soon find yourself chasing Panda Monica, who is in turn chasing Cerberus. Judgment and Azazel watch the scene unfold with dumbstruck expressions. Panda Monica, wait, hold on. I'll strangle them. Your chase brings you onto the beach for a while, before Cerberus wisely realizes that the water is the safest place from Panda Monica. They charge into the surf, and Panda Monica follows after them. With a yelp, Cerberus tries to splash water into Panda Monica's face, hoping to make a swift escape when she's blinded. But the sleepy Deepens is not deterred. Pretty soon, a splash fight breaks out. Panda Monica enlists you, Azazel, and Judgment to help her overcome the boundless energy of her foe. Before long, the splash fight turns into an all-out splash war, which lasts until the sun begins to set. The daylight waning, you finally call it on the battle and head for the beach. The demons all follow suit, collapsing onto their towels with content expressions. You pass out sandwiches and wine to everyone. Though you, Panda Monica, and Judgment savor your dinner, Cerberus scarfs down her food so that they can head down by the water, begin making sandcastles. Azazel, too, eats quickly so that she can return to the pools to examine the wildlife. Judgment is content to watch them for a time, but soon she, too, gets up, grumbling something about how they're doing it all wrong. They're doing it all wrong! You go show them! You go show them! Oh, wow, we get two of them. This is dope. Cool. Look at that. Wow. Oh, this is dope. Left alone, you and Panda Monica set your sights on the horizon where the sunset has bathed the sky in a deep shade of red. You know, you feel her scoop closer to you on the blanket and loop her arm around yours. We don't have sunsets in hell. Certainly heard of them before, but never imagined that one could be this beautiful. With a sigh, Panda Monica leans her head against your shoulder. Thank you for today, Take it. Never felt so at peace. I hope that it lasts. Me too. This is everything I've ever wanted. I never asked to be what I am, to bear the curses that rest on my shoulders. None of us did. But we make the best of what we're given. I just wish I could stay here forever with you, as do I. You look out over the beach. Judgment and Cerberus are working hard to build the most impressive castle. Judgment is winning by a long shot, perhaps because Cerberus has chosen to build hers atop Azazel. The angel squirms too much to provide a solid foundation. And after a while, high tide sweeps in and Cerberus's moat is flooded, knocking her castle over. She begins to pout, lamenting her loss. You realize that it'll be time to head home before long. The thought of leaving this place is a bittersweet one. You aren't certain what will happen from here on out, but at least you'll have the memories you made to look back on. Panda Monica looks up to you, seeming to realize that your time here is coming to an end. You meet her gaze, wishing you could read exactly what's on her mind. Is it hope? Contentment? Melancholy? We must depart, mustn't we? I'm afraid so. Panda Monica nods and you whistle for Cerberus, Azazel, and Judgment to come back and pack everything up. Groggily, they all stumble back on the beach. Chillin'? Tired? Has seen some things. Has seen certain things. Okay. As you gather your things, you keep an eye on Panda Monica, hoping to glean something from her expression. Though she avoids looking at you directly, you do manage to catch your eye just before you leave, only to be met with a sorrowful smile. Thinking that this means you failed in your endeavor to relieve her of hell's influence, you hang your head on the way to the car. Behind the wheel once again, you urge the car to life. Panamanica sits in the passenger seat next to you, a look of concern etched into her brow. You drive home in silence, save for the soft sound of Cerberus snoring in the back seat. Once you arrive, everyone flies out of the car, drops their things in the living room, and heads off to bed with a muttered, "Good night." "Good night, Mortal. Good night. Hey. Night. Good night. Good night." Panamanica lingers behind only a while longer, seemingly unable to articulate exactly what is on her mind. "Take her. Don't worry about it, Panamanica. At least we had today. But Yes, you're right. Good night. Good night. Okay." You let out a breath that you feel as though you've been holding in since that morning. Azazel passes you on her way to bed, patting you encouragingly on the back as she goes. "Maybe we can try something else another time?" "Yeah. Wait, when did you do this studious look? Why are you can really give him that really large studious look here." "Maybe." That was the beach episode. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty cool. So we have who's do we still have Cerberus? Oh wait. Holy frick. Oh wow, I've been recording for a long time. Ready to do this again? Here we go. In the wake of your last date with Modius and her confession therein, you've been forced to look for inspiration for the next date in an unconventional place. A yawn overtakes you as you adjust the way you are sitting up in bed. You've been this way for some time now, with copious pillows stacked at your back, and the book Tango Beneath the Moonlight is resting in your lap. There are only a few pages left until the end of the book, so you simply can't bring yourself to stop now. And yet you've been reading for so long that you're certain you should at least try to get some sleep. Just as the thought occurs to you, however, you hear a knock at your door. "Hey, Taker, it's time to get up already!" With a sigh, you hurl off the covers and pull back the curtains. Morning sunlight pours into your room at once, and you realize that you spent all night reading. You attempt to shake off the drowsiness just long enough to answer the door. "Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm up." "Good. It isn't like you to sleep in. See that it doesn't happen again, okay?" "Right. Oh, okay, right." Lucifer strides down the hallway and toward the kitchen while you retreat back to your room. You eye the open book sitting catawampus atop your covers and decide that it's best if you finish it later, lest you earn the wrath of the Queen of Hell. Okay. With that in mind, you decide to get ready for the day and make your way down to breakfast. When you arrive, you see Panamanica and Modius there as well. They are making light conversation with one another, but you are too preoccupied with your own thoughts to participate. That book you snagged from Modius, with her permission of course, has given you many ideas, enough to formulate a plan for your next date. A plan that you hope... Dude, salsa night! Salsa night, we're gonna dance! A plan that you hope to put into action this afternoon. Suddenly excited by the prospect, you scarf down your breakfast and excuse yourself from the table. "Where are you off to?" "Hey, you seem to be in a bit of a hurry today, Taker." You turn toward the woman, shooting a meaning... Drink water. Modius at once seems to understand the cause of your excitement and blushes. "I've got some errands to run today." How very pedestrian of you, Taker. "Where are you off to, may I ask?" "The mall. Why?" "Well, I have some things I've been meaning to pick up, but if you don't mind getting them for me, I'd be grateful." "Sure, that wouldn't be a problem." "Hey, did somebody say mall?" With a raspy laugh, Zdrada enters the kitchen through a curtain of smoke. Panamanica waves the smog away from her face with a grimace. "Zdrada, how many times must I ask you to please refrain from smoking in the kitchen of all places?" Zdrada waves off Panamonica's protestations, dropping ash into the tile floor in the process. "If you're headed to the mall, piss taker, If you're headed to the mall, piss taker, I'd like you to pick up some things for me." "Seriously?" "Yeah, wait right here. I made a list." Piss taker. Before you can object any further, Zdrada races off. "I don't know how I feel about being everyone's errand boy. So what boy would you rather be? Pool boy, perhaps?" Modius giggles. "Ooh, an affair with a pool boy. I like the sound of that. Shut the frick up, Modius. Now right out." "Yeah, well, sadly, we don't have a pool." Rats. An investment for the future, then. Just then, Zdrada bounds back into the kitchen with with all the subtlety of an explosive. Ah, here you are. Now be a good boy and fetch me what I need. The demon presents you a crumpled up piece of paper stained with marinara sauce and bearing an official looking letterhand from some sort of real estate office. You squint your eyes at the scribbles, trying to make out exactly what has been written. The longer you stare, however, the more your head begins to hurt. How the hell am I supposed to read this? And where did you get this paper from? It looks like business stationery? That's not important. Can you get the stuff for me? Once I figure out what it says, sure. Oh, hand it over, let me see. Pandemonium studies the paper with Modius peeking over her shoulder. For hell's sake, zdrada, I can hardly tell if these letters are supposed to be Gretchen or Enochian. Yeah, you really need to brush up on your mortal penmanship. Oh, for crying out loud, can you get the stuff or not? Yeah, sure he can. If he wants to get put on some sort of FBI watch list, of course. This list is undoubtedly the ingredients for some sort of explosive bioweapon. Oh, he'll be fine. Just don't buy everything at the same place and use cash. I don't see what the issue is. Come on, Taker. Don't be a stick in the mud. Is one little list too much for you? You purse your lips and stuff the list into your pocket. Fine, I'll get the stuff on your list. But you better not be asking me for anything else for a while, got it? Sweet. You'll need to lay low after you buy that stuff anyway, Taker. Zdrada claps you on the back and departs. What mother freaking bioweapon? What the frick? I'm gonna be an international criminal. What about your list, Pandemonium? Oh, I've already emailed it to you. Check your phone. Don't worry, it's legible and legal. Thanks. Well, I'm off. See you guys soon. Farewell. You start to head up to your room to gather your things, but a tug of your elbow stops you in your tracks. Taker? Yes? Before you go, I wanted to ask, is this about, our date? You smile and pat the demon on the head affectionately. You'll see. Just be patient. Got some ideas. Blushing, Modius nods and scampers off. What are your freaking ideas? What is the idea I'm thinking of? What is this? I remember. Oh, frick. Pandemonium, initially pretending as though she hadn't been eavesdropping on your interaction, smiles knowingly in your direction before escaping as well with a fresh cup of coffee. What the frick? Why are you smirking at me? What is this? Not even I know what's going on. What's going on? Without further ado, you snag your shoes and keys away from your room and make your way down to the mall. On the way, your thoughts return to Modius' confession. More than ever, you hope this idea of yours pans out. But first, there's something you need to get. Bioweapon, okay. The search of which has brought you to the mall, and more specifically, a dress shop. Gowns of Rapso. There is a kind associate manager to piece together your disjointed thoughts on non-specific ramblings into something you hope Modius will love. She even offers to wrap it for you. You leave the shop feeling altogether more confident now that your idea is becoming a reality. Before you can go home, however, you must complete the list thrust upon you by Zdrada and Pandemonium. Fortunately, you manage to complete both without raising too much suspicion. Afterward, you load everything into your car and head home to find Modius sitting impatiently in the living room. Okay, can I tell you something real quick? For the past 3 sentences, these past 3 sentences right here, I wasn't even thinking. I was just reading. I just looked at the words. I have no idea what I just read. Like, I didn't read that. I don't freaking know. I just freaking read the words without even thinking. And in my brain, I was like, wait a second, I'm saying the words without even thinking about it. How's that even possible? Now I'm thinking about this thought in my head. Should I tell everyone? No, I'm not going to do it. And then I read the next sentence and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to tell everybody that I was thinking about reading the sentence. Whatever. Okay. Afterward, you load everything in your okay. She jumps to your feet as soon as you walk in. I know you said to wait and be patient, but I just have to know what it is you plan to do, Taker, so please. Hey, what's that? She nods at the long box tucked under your arm. Is that for me? Mm-hmm. Can I open it now? Well, our date isn't for another hour or so. You look into Modius' expectant gaze and grin. But I suppose I can let you have a sneak peek of what's to come. Here. Modius takes the box from you and without much pomp and circumstance rips the wrapping off of it. Before long, she's got the box in shambles on the ground and holding it in her hands, a beautiful black dress amply adorned with glitter and sequins. I don't know what those are. Her eyes glow wide as she holds it aloft. You don't try it on? Without thinking, the demon nods fiercely and strips right there in the living room. Moments later, Modius is standing before you, admiring the dress as it hugs your body. What do you think? Does it fit well? Whoa, what the frick? What is going? Whoa! Holy frick! Holy frick! What is going on?
Okay, guys, everyone shut the frick up. Everyone shut the frick up, okay? We gotta be cool. Keep it cool, guys. Okay, alright, we're fine. We're good, okay, alright. I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna comment anything, I'm not gonna think anything. That's it. That's all there is to it. Just look. You get to look. I'm just here looking at you. So you look for me. You look for me. Okay. And it fits perfectly. I'm just reading the text, okay? It's your job to look. So you freaking look. I just look at words. But why? What's this for?
Oh, you'll see.
Wait, what the frick? What? I just still don't know what we're doing.
You chuckle. All right, I suppose it'll be okay if we're a little early. Then we just get changed and then we can go, all right?
Go where? You're gonna walk away from me? Where are we going?
We're gonna go on a romantic steak dinner at a sports bar. A sports bar and grill. We're gonna have a romantic steak dinner at a freaking bar. No, bar food. Then we're gonna go to McDonald's to get ice cream after. Before Modius can catch you, you disappear into your room and emerge sometime later, dressed in a sharp red suit with a black button-up that matches Modius' new dress. Oh, wow. You look great. Ready to go? In response, Modius sidles up next to you and loops her arm around yours. Together, you make your way to the car and pull off. I still think it's kind of jarring how, like, the seat is, like, this big and, like, it's one person. It's just something to point out. I don't know. You still haven't told me where we're going. Like I've said, you'll see. Shut the frick up. Fine. You smile to yourself as you drive to the... Oh, wow. I'm just hyped. I'm hyping myself up. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Modius trying to suss out her whereabouts using familiar landmarks. Thinking that you'll keep the mystery up a little longer, you decide to make a couple of unnecessary turns and turn a more roundabout way to get to your destination. At long last, however, you pull into the parking lot before a solid brick building. The sign up front reads, Tatiana's International Tango Studio. Yes! Salsa night! All right. Right away, Modius reads the sign and gasps. Is this... It is. We're going to learn to tango? Oh, we're going to tango. Modius grabs your arms and squeezes. You can't tell at first if she's excited, apprehensive, or both. You ready? At this, Modius turns to you, and you can see behind her eyes an expression of boundless elation. She nods furiously. I love it. I was hoping you might. I thought learning to do the tango together might toe the line between romance and sensuality, just enough that it lets you step out of your comfort zone at your own leisure. And who knows, we might end up being... Holy frick! I just spit all over my screen. Holy frick! Dude, the art of dance. The art of dance. Dude, dancing is an art form. It's beautiful. I've seen. I'm friends with like a professional dancer, and he tells me about the absolute magical feeling of what it's like to dance with somebody. It's like, it's crazy. I'm like, what the frick are you talking about? What are you, stupid or something? And he tells, there's like, in my town, there's like secret like dance groups that like choose random places across the town, and like they meet up like in buildings and like behind places or at parks in the grass, and they meet up and they dance with like random people that they never met before, right? And then they dance, and he shows me a video of these two people, these two strangers that have never met before, and they're dancing in such a beautiful way that flows like as if they've choreographed the thing for years. And I'm like, how the frick is that possible? And he's like, dude, this is like better than drugs. I'm serious. I'm like, what the frick? And then I was like, oh, now I want to dance. And then he was like, okay, go learn how to dance. And I'm like, wow, I'm not very good at it. And then he was like, well, just, we're going to dance. And then so now I'm going to learn how to dance. So, art of dance, guys. It's like actually, like unironically, actually, romance and sensuality. Wow. That is real. That is real. Like, that is like literally unironically real, dude.
dance is beautiful. And I thought it was just like, oh, I'm going to do a TikTok dance, move my body funnily. It is magic. In one way, it is magic. Some people forget that dance is an art form, but it is, okay? Anyway, we should head inside. I took the scenic route to get here, so our lessons should be starting soon. Needing no further prompting, Modius bounds out of the car and seizes you by the arm on your way into the studio. Once inside, you're approached by a lithe, sharply dressed woman. We're gonna freaking tango. Welcome, I am Tatiana, and you must be my next appointment. That we are. Excellent. The woman stomps her feet and claps twice in the air in a flourish. Now, if you'll just follow me. As Tatiana leads the way further into the studio, you feel Modius grip your arm tighter than ever. I wish I could do an accent for her, but I don't know how to do it. And I feel like if I do it poorly, then that's just weird. Afraid that this is a signal for the demon getting cold feet, you look back, only to be met with a pair of heart-shaped eyes staring intently back at you. Is everything okay? Yes. I'm just nervous. Nervous? Why's that? You did all this for me? What if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. But for now, don't worry about it, okay? Even if we don't continue this in the future, let's just have fun with it today. All right? Okay. With that, you head into the dance room. Tatiana hands you both a pair of dance shoes and leads you onto the floor, where you're surrounded by large wall-to-wall mirrors with two sides. Let us begin! First things first, allow me to introduce you to our 4 principal moves in dance, from which all steps are based. At once, you and Modius are enraptured with the lesson. Oh my lord. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my gosh. We are boogieing. Holy frick, the art of dance. When the art of dance shows me and my partner its magic. To begin with, Tatiana shows you the absolute basics, which is to be expected for a couple of beginners, of course. However, things progress quickly into something more advanced, so it becomes clear that Modius is, much to your surprise, an absolute natural. The demon masters each do step with ease and contorts their body with a level of poise and flexibility only seen in masters of their craft. Both you and the instructor are left completely awestruck by the display. Miss, are you absolutely certain you've never done any lessons before? None at all. Why do you ask? Though the instructor scratches her head in disbelief, she has no choice but to shrug and proceed with the lesson. No reason. You and Modius breezed through a 2-hour session in the blink of an eye. By the end, you were exhausted in ways you can't even believe. Your calves ache and your arms feel like jello. Modius, meanwhile, looks better than ever. As a matter of fact, she's absolutely glowing. You've never seen her smile so much before. She even pouts when the instructor announces the end of your lesson. Holy frick. With heavy hearts, you both bid farewell to Tatiana and start your journey home. Next to you in the car, Modius is fidgeting happily. I take it you enjoyed yourself? Mm-hmm. I've never done dance before. The tango was so... In a fit of ecstasy, the demon shudders. Sensual. Glad to hear that. Maybe we can go back next week. Yes, please. I'd like that very much. Good. Seems like this is exactly what you've needed. It is, but it's also so much more than just dancing. It's knowing that you really listen. I don't think anyone has ever done that for me before, but you did. You heard what I had to say and went out of your way to do something with everything I told you in mind. That's what means the most to me, Taker. That, more than anything, is what I needed, so thank you. Really. You open your mouth to reply, but as if voicing her gratitude wasn't enough, Modius slips her hand in yours, and laces your fingers together. Are we holding hands? Ah! Shocked, you turned to the demon for answers, but she's too busy staring out the opposite view to meet your gaze. Nevertheless, you spy a reddening to her cheeks. It would seem that you two still have a long way to go, but this moment, with her hand in yours, is a good step in the right direction. You're welcome, Modius. Wow. Can't believe that sensual dance ended in hand-holding. Holy frick.
Who did I not do yet? Right. Cerberus. Let's do you. All right. Holy frick. That was awesome. That was awesome. Like, I'm serious. That was awesome. For the first time in far too long, you found yourself with some free time, unburdened by the needs of the household. So you took a moment to drink water. Okay. After making sure the house wouldn't self-destruct while you did so, you've elected to spend your precious free afternoon catching up on some much-needed sleep. Your sleep is not a peaceful one, however, and disturbing visions swirl around in your head like a goldfish in a bowl. Justice joins a professional soccer team backed by a cheerleading squad consisting of Modius and your college elocution teacher, Mr. Thorndyke, and grandmother Taker herself. Your dreams are soon interrupted, however, by a rather strange rocking sensation accompanied by an all too familiar voice. Wake up! It's... Confusing as your dreams may be, you still fight your hardest to remain asleep as your conscious mind is dredged from the subconscious pits of slumber into the waking world. You open your eyes to 3 sets of luminous red orbs staring back at you. Cerberus sits on your bed, one of 3 bodies sitting cross-legged upon your chest. She rocks back and forth with your breaths, tipping at an extreme angle that would topple people over with worse balance than hers. Seeing that you're awake, all 3 bodies break into identical, excited smiles. You're awake! Finally awake, jeez. I've been waiting to get your attention for a while now. You must have been really tired. I was. Well, technically, still am. Why are you here? Ugh. You can! So, why are you here? Ugh. Oh no, I got the hiccups. I can't narrate with the hiccups. Okay, here we go. The body straddling you beams, leaning in, almost close enough to touch noses. Her voice comes out as an excited whisper, her breath hot on your cheek. It's time to learn the truth. She's been holding out all this time, and we've had enough. Today we're taking back what's ours. A small seed of worry plants itself firmly in the back of your mind as you hazard your next question. You're talking about Lucifer, aren't you? You still want to ask her about your bodies? Cerberus nods seriously, her expression growing a shade darker. We feel things other girls don't. We're more potent, but we don't really understand anything about where we came from. Lucifer is the first demon we can remember, so she must have the answers. Only problem is every time we ask her, she finds a way to avoid answering us. She trapped us in the laundry room last time. How'd she manage that? She made a sign, and it distracted us. What sort of sign? It was a very mysterious sign. We couldn't figure out what it meant. What did it say? It had only 2 words. Guess what? She locked the door while we were reading it, and we were stuck there until judgment let us out. Well, that explains the howling that kept you awake last night. We weren't giving up, though. We're going to talk to Lucifer and make her tell us everything. So we're going to say, guess what? Guess what? And you're stuck for hours pondering. Pondering what? You had to guess. I had to guess what? I couldn't guess. I don't know. How do you plan on accomplishing that? Do you really have the raw power to force Lucifer to tell you the truth? Cerberus rolls her eyes in mild frustration. Of course not, dum-dum. That's why we woke you up. We need your help, so come on. The seed of concern has been laid down roots that is starting to push leafy tendrils up through your consciousness. Either oblivious or willfully ignorant to your mounting worries, Cerberus herds you out of bed into your day clothes. Her eager hands, perhaps a shade too much so. The demoness leads you out of your room into the 2nd floor, landing, talking nonstop. I don't really like this song that much. Okay, we've been watching Lucifer very carefully over these past few years. We know her schedule, top to bottom, inside out. She always comes upstairs for a glass of wine, sometimes around 3. So that's when we'll strike. Well, we have the high ground. You don't want to try anything when someone has the high ground. You bite your lip, concerned. So run me through this plan of yours, Lucifer. Lucifer comes walking up the stairs, and then you... When was this? Wait, was this a thing? Oh, okay, all right. Opening a small locker by the banister, Cerberus withdraws a tangled gladiator-style weighted net. 2 of her bodies struggle to untangle the mass of porous fabric, while the 3rd one turns to continue her lecture. We'll wait up here just out of sight. Then when she comes up the stairs, we'll get her. Like a fish. A fish that won't talk to us. Imprison the Queen of Hell in a net.
This isn't some Saturday morning cartoon. That little thing won't stop her for more than a couple seconds. We know, that's why we decided. Two thin but surprisingly strong arms wrap around your waist. Grunting, Cerberus hoists you off the ground, holding you triumphantly overhead like a deadlift champion. We're going to throw you down after the net. We heard Justice saying that Lucifer has a weakness for you, so we're going to use you as our secret weapon. Whoa, hold on there. You can't just pitch me down the stairs. They're African mahogany. Put me down and we'll talk about this. Having floors made out of expensive wood, that's weird. Okay. But your efforts are futile. Cerberus bears you inexorable towards the banister, all the while continuing to detail her master plan. Then, when you pin her down, she's all tangled up in the net, we'll ask Lucifer. Ask me what? Cerberus rolls around at the voice, pinwheeling your body through the air. Just rotates. There's just like a 7-foot tall man just not there. Lucifer stands at the base of the stairs, eyebrow cocked and hands on her hips. Oh, frick. And just what are you doing with my taker? Cerberus drops you to the ground with an unceremonious thud. You get to your feet, dusting yourself off as Cerberus, her plan scuppered, desperately tries to come up with a good explanation for her behavior. We, are playing a game. No, wait. He saw a spider, and he was super scared. And Cerberus visibly deflates in the face of Lucifer's steel gaze. Steely gaze? Like Steely Dan? What? Her prolific excuses diminishing to a barely audible mutter as she averts her gaze. Gathering herself, you address Lucifer in Cerberus' stead. It's all right, Lucy. We were just horsing around. Cerberus got into the WWE tapes again, wanted to try performing a backbreaker. Lucifer makes her way upstairs, eyeing the two of you suspiciously. In a blur of motion, one of Cerberus' bodies darts towards, brandishing the net. You have barely enough time to stick out your leg, stumbling, sending her tumbling, head over heels, into the banister. Unaware of the finer points of the drama unfolding on the landing, Lucifer crests the top of the stairs, turning her gaze onto you. Lucifer's voice comes out in a dangerous monotone. One more chance to explain what you're doing? I'm not in the mood for jesting or playing around, so if I don't like your answer, she lets the threat hang there, unspoken but unmistakable in its intent. You cast a questioning glance at Cerberus, who nods wordlessly, steeling herself. You place a hand on her shoulders and turn back to Lucifer. Lucy, no, we have some things that we need to talk to you about. We were disagreeing on how exactly to get your attention when you showed up. Lucifer's countenance softens a touch, and she puts her hand to the bridge of her nose, sighing deeply. You and the rest of the household. Well, whatever it is, it shall have to wait until later. I have a job for the two of you. That can't wait. From a pouch on her waist, Lucifer withdraws 4 sticks of railroad chalk. Fanning them out, she offers one of them to you and the rest to Cerberus. I decided a home security is in much needed refurbishment. Cameras and locks won't be enough to deter a demonic assault. Excuse me. We're going to need something much more sturdier than what we currently have. And your solution is chalk? In a sense. I wish for you to draw me a ritual circle that will allow me to better ward the house from attack. Reaching into her back pocket, the Queen of Hell withdraws a small piece of paper upon which a traced, solid-looking, symmetrical sigil. This is a Goetian glyph of Halfas. It acts as sort of a battery, though which we can channel magic into static objects. I need you to trace this around the house of the home. Once you finish drawing it, Justice and Judgment will be able to channel some of their considerable power into the glyphs to buffer our defenses. Do this for me, and I will consider honoring your request. Do we have a deal? Yes. Good. Now I must depart. I have much to do, and increasingly sparse amounts of time to do it in. Departing, Lucifer leaves the two of you pondering the lengthy task ahead of you. After a moment of contemplation, Cerberus speaks. Who does she think she is? Imitating Lucifer's often lofty manner of speech, one of Cerberus's bodies addresses the other two in eerie pantomime. So sorry, but I just can't be bothered to talk to you, Cerberus. Maybe if we can do an extra good job working for me, I might consider giving you the time of day. She turns back to you. She'd even say that
she would hear us out, mind you. Whatever the others say about us, we do pay attention. Well, sometimes. You shake your head, mildly impressed. I will say her ability to wrap people up in plants is commendable. Her ascension to the throne seems more and more believable every day. Cerberus says nothing. Her faces sport identical scowls of irritation. Perhaps now it isn't the best time to compliment Lucifer's abilities. Okay, well, let's try to get this chore over with and we make plans that work this time. Do we have to? You let your silence answer for you, and Cerberus rolls her eyes. However, she follows you outside without further complaint. Once outside, you quickly settle into a rhythm, marking sign after sign on the house's exterior. Okay, so we're just bored. Bro, there's 3 of you. We can get this done in like 5 minutes. Is that the freaking sigil of Galphus or something like that? I don't know. Wouldn't this be common sense? Wouldn't we do this like the moment we moved in? I don't know. Oh, frick, the neighbor's looking at us? Damn it. Okay, well. After studying Lucifer's diagram for a moment, Cerberus sets to work alongside you. Working in perfect sync with herself, she soon manages to coat a significant stretch of the house with a densely packed layer of sigils. The 2 of you chat as you work, Cerberus' speaking body changing as she rotates around you, chalking in symbols. That's interesting. That's interesting. They're all one person. They're all the same person. They share the same everything. That's like overpowered, bro. You got 3 angles and everything. Taker, do you have a purpose? What the frick? Purpose? Like thing I'm meant to do? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not so sure what I do, Cerberus. Can't think of any one particular goal of my life would be complete without. Is that what you mean? Yeah. I guess the closest thing I have would be my ties to you and the other girls. What about you? What do you think your purpose is? We aren't sure. Zdrada and Malina have their mortal vices, and justice and judgment both like seeing jobs through to the end. The window above you opens, and Lucifer pokes her head out. A mostly empty bottle of wine dangles from her fingertips. Looks like Cerberus' prediction was right on the money. After you're done, run along to the store and pick me some more of this Chateau Sanguine, wouldn't you? This bottle's almost dry. Without waiting for a reply, Lucifer withdraws her head, shutting the window behind her. Cerberus punches the side of the house, her blow cracking the old brickwork. And that old goat will never be happy unless she's telling someone what to do. We're not a servant to be ordered around or some pet to be fondled at her leisure. Why do we have to do her dirty work? If it's independence you want, I'm sure we can negotiate. But Cerberus is already shaking her head at your suggestion. No, we don't want independence. We want a direct answer from her. You keep saying you want answers, but I'm still in the dark as to what that means to you. All the other demons understand their place in the world order. They have a purpose, and that purpose exists a strong pull on their character. We don't know what it feels like. What our purpose is. Isn't your purpose to defend hell? Like you guard like the thing? Isn't that what Cerberus in mythology does? Maybe you'll be the protector. You'll protect us with the sigils and stuff. I don't know. Sometimes we get these flashes, a certain urgency to do something, but there's no feeling of fulfillment or purpose to it. Until we saw Mammon threatening you in the park, that is. It was like reaching back to scratch an itch, but realizing halfway that the source of the itching is buried deep in our skin. That's what it felt like when I got close to Mammon. Like there was a purpose in me being there. Apart you from saving me, you mean? Well, it's complicated, but it felt like the two of you were connected in some way. We got this incredible feeling that we pounced on her in the park, and again, we chased her down the alley. We felt like we could have fought her forever and never gotten bored. Do you think your purpose is tied with Mammon in some way? Cerberus nods after a moment's thought. Yes, we do. And we think Lucifer knows the specifics and still won't share them with us. We haven't been doing some thinking, and we have something important to ask you on the subject of our benevolent queen. Do you trust in Lucifer's intentions? Do you really think she wants what's best for the rest of us? Yeah, I do. That is because I'm going to hydrate first. Drink water. She opened up and got real emotional by the time that, we went to hell for a field trip. She wouldn't do that. So, yeah, also we've been living together, sure, why not? Also, even if I didn't think that She was trustworthy. She can kill all of us whenever she wanted to, or at least kill us, the mortal, in a matter of milliseconds. I'm sure. So yeah, I do trust her. Yes, I do. She might be a manipulatory, secretive, and dangerous to oppose, but I think she has our best interests at heart, by extension at least. Her fortune is as tied to ours as ours is to hers, and I trust in her ability to remain self-interested. How can you still trust in her after everything you've seen? After she's made it perfectly clear that she doesn't care for our peace of mind? It's not quite as simple as trust, but I believe that Lucifer doesn't perform actions rashly. If she's keeping secrets from us, there's likely a good reason for it. We may not understand it now, but there may be an excellent reason for her keeping us in the dark. Don't think that'll stop us from approaching Lucifer, though. We will find our purpose. But what if finding your purpose means surrendering your agency? What does that mean? Surrendering? How so? Well, is it really worth knowing your purpose if knowing your purpose? Is it really worth knowing your purpose if knowing your purpose dictates your actions? Sorry. All three of the demons' bodies cock their heads at you. Like they all turn and look at you at the same time. Okay. Come again? You sound like those angry old guys who used to torment in hell, the ones with the funny white dresses. I remember they used to call Lucifer by a different name. Like, hey, something or other. Old men in white dresses. Were they philosophers? That's it. Philosophers. You sound just like them, talking in circles with your words like spaghetti noodles. Well, in simple terms, then, would knowing what you're supposed to do compromise your freedom to choose for yourself? Do demons have free will? Free will? Yes. Do demons possess the ability to think and do things outside of prescription and habit? To change the world around them in unprecedented ways? Like with fire? Good at fire. Watch, I'll give you an example. One that doesn't carry a burn risk. You finish tracing the most recent symbol on the side of the house, and you examine it for a minute before setting the chalk aside. Reaching out, you smudge the sigil with your finger, marring the surface of the protected glyph and compromising its shape. I told Lucifer we would ring this house and these markings for her, and it's in my nature to hold to the promises I make. However, should I choose to, I could freely sabotage the work that I'm doing and put us all in danger. Now, obviously I won't do that, but the freedom to choose right from wrong remains nonetheless. As you repair the damage done to the sigil, Cirrus furrows her brow, trying to make sense of what you just said. I don't see why anyone would want to be able to make wrong choices. Well, some people don't. Some people live their entire life with precepts telling them what they can and can't do. And that's a choice as well, as I suppose. But even if a choice may not be in the human's best interest, we are free to make that choice to the best of our ability. Traveling to hell in search of a harem? Now that was a choice that I made that was probably not in my best interest, but I had a dream that I was willing to risk my life to see through. A dream, huh? You say you want to corrupt the mortal world. You say you want to discover more about yourself. But how do you want those things to come about? Outcasts like Mammon already seem to have a firm rooting in this world. If you wanted to, you could leave for hell this very day, relatively confident that the earth will twist towards corruption without your hand in the affair. But we don't want that. Cerberus looks up at you, her eyes shining with epiphany. We want to be the ones to do that. So I challenge you with the one final question. How do you know you want to go about learning more about yourself? Do you really believe you'll be happy with the information you get from Lucifer if it dictated your purpose from this point forwards? Or would you rather seek out your own truth and discover who you are along the way? Mulling your question over, Cerberus spends the rest of the chore in stolid silence as you finally sketch the last of the sigils onto the front door of the house. She speaks. Even if the knowledge might be tricky to accept, we owe it to ourselves to try and draw it out. Yeah, we aren't afraid of anything. Reaching out, a hesitant figure, Cerberus moves slowly towards the sigil on the door, half an inch from the surface. Her finger runs into an invisible barrier. She pushes forward regardless, sweat beading onto her forehead as her other two bodies move to support her arm and guide it forwards. We don't know where we come from or how we came to be, and if Lucifer won't tell us, not properly anyways, then we do know someone who might. Someone who knew enough about us to stop us in our tracks. I bet we could convince to spill any secrets she may be carrying. Cerberus looks up at you, a predatory glint in her crimson eyes. Hey, Taker, how about we go mammon hunting again? We go mammon hunting again this weekend. Ignoring the sickening feeling in your stomach, you put on a smile. Sounds great, Cerberus. Jeez. Gee whiz. Alright, looks like that's everyone. Yep. One final bout. Hope you're ready, everybody. 2 hours and 50 minutes. Drink water. Okay, here we go. While the other girls attended to, you head upstairs to once more inform Lucifer of your progress. After knocking... God, you gotta look for me, okay? I gotta read. Frick! After knocking on her door, you enter her room to find her dressed to the heels in what appears to be a party dress, admiring herself in the mirror. Ah, take care. I was hoping you'd finish up in time. Why is that? Got a fun-filled evening planned, Lucy? We both do. We're going to be a business meeting. Oh, bit frick. Okay, that's lame. Okay. Hey, it's that sigil on your... hey, don't freaking look at me like that with a frick. Hey! I thought you were going to kill me. It's like the fish, you're going to kill me. Okay. The sigil. I remember that one. Or something similar. Am I making something up? No, I remember something like that. Right. Okay. We're going to a business meeting. Of a sensitive nature, I might add. I've taken the liberty of procuring us a reservation at the Palatial. The Palatial? But that's the fanciest restaurant in the area. Waitlist can stretch for months in advance. How did you manage to get us a reservation on such short notice? Lucifer grins a vulpine grin. Like the Pokemon? Isn't there a Pokemon named... Whatever. Look at that. Look at a freaking face. Frick! Being Queen of Hell has some advantages, even here in the mortal world. One mustn't underestimate the lack of scruples within high society. Can't argue with that. Just kidding, I had Pat and Monica arrange it. Okay. The freak. Just kidding, I had Pat and Monica arrange it. She can be quite convincing when she wants to be. I also take the liberty of procuring you a suit. You should find it on your bed. I expect you to look your best tonight. We are dressing to impress. You do as you are bid and change the starchy tuxedo you find in your room. Change into the starchy tuxedo. Making your way downstairs, you find Lucifer in hushed conversation. Justice, you're in charge until I get back. The awesome demon looks like she's about to say something, but changes her mind at the last moment. Smiling, she grips Lucifer's shoulder with one gloved hand. She nods. First at Lucifer, then up the stairs at you. Good luck, friend. Hope tonight bodes well for the two of you. You drive to the Palatial. Your drive to the Palatial is uneventful, and your occasional attempts at small talk are not reciprocated by Lucifer, as you wonder what on earth could cause the Queen of Hell to want to impress someone. Oh yeah, good idea. Wait, what if it's me? What if she wants to impress us? Dude, no way. That'd be so cool. Arriving at your destination, you toss the keys to a waiting valet before opening Lucifer's door, helping her onto the sidewalk. Maybe it's just the light, but she looks... Holy crap, out of focus moment. Okay. She looks enchanting in her glittering dress. Clasping hands, the two of you enter the restaurant. The impeccably dressed waiter inclines his head respectfully as you approach his desk. Welcome to the Palatial. I trust sir and madam have a reservation. Yes, let's see. I 1412-15, I believe it was. The waiter makes a show of flipping through a little leather-bound scheduling book. Eventually, he stops and peers down his horn-rimmed spectacles at the page entry. Ah, yes, one table for Lucifer, Queen. Yes, it's us. It's us. That's us. Madam, there appears to be only two of you here. Shall we wait for the third party before accompanying to your table? Third party? You turn to Lucifer, but her gaze is locked upon the waiter. Her answer is cool and holds none of the foreboding now gently bearing at the back of your mind. I got a burp. Give me a second. Okay. No, our other members have never been one for punctuality. She'll join us when she arrives. Until then, I'd like to enjoy a drink with my companion. The waiter's eye twitches in carefully restrained irritation, but he smiles benignly, picks up two menus, and beckons you forwards. Is it Beelzebub? This way, if you please. Is it Beelzebub? The two of you follow the waiter into the ostentatious depths of the Palatial. The dining area is ornate. Marble pillars hold up a painted ceiling. Soft music played by a live band creates a pleasantly soothing background ambience. The table you are shown to is tucked away from prying eyes and carved from the same hard stone as the rest of the decor. The two of you take your seats, and Lucifer makes a wine selection for the waiter bows and leaves the two of you alone. Free for the moment of prying ears, you ask Lucifer the obvious question. Who's this third party you've invited along? I thought we were putting pleasure before business on this date. Oh, we are, trust me. Our guest never arrives on time. As to her identity, I thought it would be best to extend an invitation to our opposition. See if we can't resolve this whole dispute peacefully.
You think it's Sathanis? Sathanis is gonna put on a rock song or
You invited the leader of the deposed lords to have dinner? And I'm there? Why am I here? What the frick? What else? I get a romantic evening dinner with my taker, and I get a chance to resolve a burgeoning conflict before it gets any worse. Two birds with one stone, I say. Why bring me along for this meeting tonight? I thought you didn't like me snooping in your affairs. Now that is a stroke of brilliance on my part, if I do say so myself. See, whatever happens here, there are going to be people in the house who won't take my word as the gospel truth, shall we say. I assume you know to whom I refer. Mouth dry, you nod your assent. Whatever shall transpire over the course of our meeting, I expect you to faithfully and accurately relate to the rest of the girls, to the letter. Am I understood? So why do you bring me along as opposed to say a tape recorder? Because I enjoy your company. Oh, wow, okay. Besides, just because we have business to attend to in the near future doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves right now. Tell me, how the girls doing? I'm so caught up in my work, I haven't had any free time for them. Zdrada's doing remarkably well, especially in the light of Belfgore's burning her home down, you know. Yeah, she's been camping in Cerberus' room, though I can't say I'm a fan of that development. Afraid she'll get Cerberus hooked on smoking. Quite the opposite. The thought of Cerberus' enthusiasm rubbing off as Zdrada presents a far more serious threat than anything the fallen lords might think of. Why, just imagining it gives me the chills. Under the table, Lucifer gently nudges you with her leg, and you decide to play along. 3 of Cerberus is bad enough, but adding a 4th that likes experimenting with recreational drugs, now that's a recipe for the end of the whole world right there. I say let a girl drink. Why are you telling me to play along? I don't get it. Didn't you ever have a wish? Something you wanted to be when you grew up? A blush creeps down your cheeks as unwanted memories come flooding into your mind. This isn't really the time. Why not here? Why not now? Although I'll tell you, you can't laugh. You can't laugh. Okay? I wanted to be a YouTuber. All right. I promise not to laugh at your silly dreams. I wanted to be an astronaut. Dear me, don't tell me you humans are still interested in that barren expanse of nothing. What on earth could have attracted you to such a career? My grandmother used to read me stories of faith, leading experts from the Bible, teaching moral lessons to well-suited for the minds of children. Lucifer rolls her eyes at this, but remains silent. In many of these stories, God speaks to a human from heaven, and at the age that I was, I always assumed heaven was above in the sky. Wanted to go there, see the majesty of all heavens on my own. Well, it seems you ended up traveling in a rather wrong direction for that. And yet, I'd say I'd still found something worth looking for, if you pardon the romanticism. Oh no, do go on. It's been ages since someone's adored me. Okay. Traveling to hell to find myself a harem will be most likely the de facto experience of my life. A prediction given all the more relevance considering I expect my lifespan to be shortened dramatically by my living with demons. Despite that, I don't regret a single choice. Knowing you has brought more vibrance into my life than I could have found if I'd lived to be 100. This pleases me. Tell me more. You always know what you want. You always plan ahead to keep yourself and others happy. You may not always be forthcoming with sensitive topics, but I've never once suspected malice to be the reason behind it. I love the way you curl your hair around your horns. I love the way you polish your crown each night before you go to sleep. What the frick? I love how you care about the other girls, even if they can't always see it. Your confidence and tenacity befits a queen. And I know that if I or any of the others were ever in trouble, you'll do all you could to help us. I don't know where that came from. My taker, I'm touched. I haven't had praise that genuine in over 600 years. I think you deserve a reward. The truth. The truth? Yes. You may ask me one question and one question only. I'll do my best to see it answered truthfully. Oh, okay, I thought I was going to get a choice. What are you keeping from Cerberus? She was only a fledgling demon at that time. One of the 4 Sathanis, I believe, snatched her out of her ゚the before she was fully formed. They kept her around as some sort of pet, and she imprinted upon them like most demons do upon vices and sins. When we cast him down, Cerberus' mental state was broken, and she relapsed into an empty slate, incapable of independent thought or movement. Hard to believe she's so energetic now. Lucifer turns away, a flush staining her cheeks, as red as the wine in her glass. Well, we couldn't leave her like that. She had no purpose, so I decided to give her one. With the 4 lords cast out, we needed someone to guard against their return. We stuffed her full of the remnants of the power of justice, and I tore from the 4. I just got really lucky because the recording stopped because it has a maximum of 3 hours. I've been here for 3 hours. I've been talking to myself for 3 hours. This is crazy. Wow. If I continued and I didn't get any of that, I would have killed myself. All right, here we go. You tried to give her a purpose by force. It was that or leave her in a vegetative state. I didn't know. I couldn't have it. It seemed like such a good idea at the time. Anger flares in your chest. 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You didn't see her. Removing the only family she had ever known. This game needs to get different music that is appropriate for the time that is happening right now, okay? I know that there's like some band playing live music, but come on, this music does not fit right now. You understand you can't tell her about this, right? Whatever happens, she must keep seeking out her own happiness. If she learns about her past, she'll give up the search for self-actualization. And I will have to come to terms with what I created. Alright? A promise, for now at least. Lucifer takes your hand and hers, squeezing them firmly. Holy frick, hand-holding. It's good to know I have your confidence. You know full well you have more than that. Oh my dick, you're so forwards. Run out of roundabouts already, have you? Lucifer gently tugs on your fingers, pulling you towards her. Holy, look, his green, can you see his eyeballs? Holy frick. Wow. This is so romantic. It's like I'm really there.
Wow, he's so romantic. It's like I'm actually going on a date.
Lucifer gently tugs on your fingers, pulling you towards her. The candlelight flickers in her eyes, reflecting something strange you haven't seen there before. Happiness? Regret? Might as well enjoy ourselves here while you can, wouldn't you agree? You nod and she smiles. Leaning forward, she tilts her head, her lips set on an unmistakable target. Your own. You close your eyes, leading into the approaching kiss. Lucifer's free hand cups the back of your head, softly guiding your lips towards hers. You feel her hot breath on your mouth and part your lips to meet hers. Who the frick are you? 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 Lucifer's mouth is perhaps a quarter of an inch from your own when she turned towards the newcomer. You chose this song? You chose this song for... Okay. You know what? I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut out the music. I really... Maybe, no, you know what? I'm gonna go the extra mile. I'm gonna get my own music in here. Maybe. Okay, here we go. The interrupter is a woman and unmistakably demonic in origin. If the shock of white hair that seems to explode from her skull isn't enough of a giveaway, her crimson eyes and curved ivory horns complete the picture. What's going on there? Jeez. Unlike the other demons you've encountered so far, this demon's fashion sense appears to have been sourced from a local mosh pit. She stands half a head taller than most demons, a feature only enhanced by tattered combat boots laced up her calves. Her outfit is a disjointed mess of fishnets and leather. A slim guitar is hung over one of her shoulders, and from the dents covering the surface you can tell it's been well used. Sathanis, I see you're merely fashionably late as opposed to insultingly. I wasn't expecting you to arrive so promptly. Unlike you, I'm single-minded in my obsessions. What? Grunting, the demon slings her guitar over the back of her chair before taking her seat. Leaning back in the chair, She places her tattered combat boots up onto the ivory tablecloth, the gesture one of contempt and disregard. What is going on with your horn there? It's like stuff leaking out or something. Holy frick, mosh pit. Wow, big hair. Very ritzy, this place. It ill suits a pretender such as you. I do hope it's not indicative of what you've done to my castle in hell. Undeterred by the open hostility demonstrated by the new demon, Lucifer maintains her polite tone of voice. You look positively famished and practically wasting away. Can I order you something to eat? No, thank you. Vipers like you deliver their venom through feasts as easily as they do through fangs. What does that mean? What? Quit dodging the topic at hand, usurper. We're here to strike a deal, nothing more. Lucifer smiles a lipless smile and gestures the attendant waiter to find someone else to bother. To business, then. Despite the somewhat esoteric nature of the ultimatum your henchman delivered my servant here, I believe I have what it is you seek. Oh, have you? Oh my goodness. Lucifer inclines her head. I reached my decision. If it is all you desire, I'm prepared to make an exchange. You agree to let my subjects go unmolested on this plane, and in exchange... What? Under the table, Lucifer squeezes your thigh reassuringly. However, she does not break eye contact with the demons.
You almost got me there, huh? You almost made me think, huh?
That's what you're here for, isn't it? Sathanas, the Wrathful. You want revenge for me disposing you all those years ago? Deposing, sorry. Oh, trust me, I'd love to rip that pretty little head right off your shoulders. But your pride betrays you once more, usurper. I don't want your life. I want to take back what's mine. Lucifer's brow raised a fraction of an inch before furrowing again. Sathanas' proclamation has evidently caught her off guard. Picking her glass of wine, she idly sips it while pondering the reprobate demon across the table. Okay. Have your years in exile addled your mind, Sathanas? I'm offering you my head and the throne along with it. I doubt anyone in my household has a mind to challenge your claim. Sathanas laughs a husky, spiteful chuckle that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You really don't get it, do you? Oh, what am I thinking? Of course you don't. You were always so big picture, never learned to notice the little things. Sathanas gestures towards you with a black-nailed hand. Take this human, for example. You've gone so long without acknowledging your mutual feelings. The tension is practically boiling off of you. That's irrelevant. What the frick are you talking about? Get to the point already, Sathanas, before I lose my patience completely. All right, then. I want something back that was at the time freely given. And while I know it's in such bad taste to take back a gift, I find myself rather unable to live without it. Sathanas stands up as she leans across the table, embers dribbling from her mouth as she delivers her demands. I want my horn back, usurper, nothing more. Abby. Oh, holy frick. Lucifer's mouth twists, setting into a firm, lipless line. Why, dear Sathanas, you have to activate Windows. I haven't the slightest idea where that thing is. Last time I saw it, you'd broken it off yourself in last-ditch effort to hurt me. Sathanas throws back her head and roars with laughter. A tongue of flame shoots out from beneath her teeth, illuminating the alcove with a sickly orange glare. Ah! And I didn't succeed in that little venture, but don't play dumb, usurper. We both know exactly where. Got a burp, excuse me. Where I left my horn, and how I get it back. The stem of the wine glass shatters, crushed into powder by Lucifer's grip. The bowl, still half filled with red liquids, falls to the ground, shattering across the polished wooden floor of the restaurant. Almost at once, an attendant trots out from the wings of the kitchen, mop and rag poised to clean up the mess. However, at a scathing look from both women sitting at the table, the attendant wisely beats a hasty retreat back out of sight. When it finally comes, Lucifer's reply is as cold and unyielding as iron. I was prepared to offer you my own life, if it meant those close to me could live in peace.
But it appears that you once again wish to exact a toll upon me that is too costly to pay, and I will never, never forgive you for the things you've done. You would have taken the same life twice, and ask me to do it with my own hands. And all for what? A chance to return to your shattered power? You know as well as I do what happens to a demon if their horns are damaged. You're a ticking time bomb, and you know it. There's nothing you can do to stop the inevitable. Zdrada smirks, her filed teeth glittering in the candlelight. Well, it's a good thing you exiled the underworld's layman along with me then, isn't it? Zdrada snaps her fingers, the sound echoing off the marble columns that pepper the inside of the palatial. Once more, a waiter appears, only this time it isn't the short, well-dressed man who showed you to your table. The new waiter is dressed in a baggy, ill-fitting outfit, almost a parody of the trim tuxedos worn by the rest of the staff, and familiar eyes peer out from an exhaustion-worn face. Abby, you shouldn't be here. Things could... With one hand, Abby reaches up to her head, grasps her hair, and pulls. The short wig is removed, freeing a cascade of milky white hair to drift across her face. Without the hat on, two white horns are visibly poking through their hair. Okay, well... You're a demon? Lucifer narrows her eyes at Abby, and her scowl deepens. Abaddon? When the other girls mentioned an omnipresent job-hopping slob, I had my suspicions. I never imagined you'd be roped into working for her. You were always the most independent of the four. I always respected that about you. Tell me, how does it feel to sell out for this short-sighted berserker? Can't complain. Well, I would, but creative thought positively exhausts me. Abaddon here is surprisingly good at mortal jobs. She's the one keeping us fed and clothed this whole time. That's not all she's picked up. I assisted a mortal physician for a time, long enough to pick up a thing or two about surgery. Pretty sure it's possible to retouch her horn. Oh, because I'm careful with it. Oh, that was a real yawn, by the way. Be that as it may, my answer remains the same. I showed you mercy once before. Rest assured, I will not be making the same mistake again. Very well. If you do not give it willingly, you leave me, us, no choice. Satanas extends one clawed hand to point a damning finger at Lucifer. Oh, Queen, oh, Liege, there shall be no peace between us. There is nowhere you can run, and nowhere you can hide to escape the unchecked wrath of Satanas. Nothing short of heart's blood shall sway me from my unholy cause. Okay. Consider this the end of our first and last negotiation. Reaching up behind her, Zdrada swings her guitar over her head and onto the table at meteoric speeds. A flash of light and deafening crack send you reeling, and even behind your trademark sunglasses, you feel your retina smolder. Oh, it's get murdered. Damn. Okay. Oh no, I got. Oh wait, was that like a flashbang or something? Okay. When you regain your vision, you see the stone table has been riveted in two by the force of the blow. Satanas and Abaddon are gone, disappeared during the light show. Looks like this time's done nothing to soften her temper, nor her fondness for melodrama. She always had a flair for the overdramatic. Looks like we'll have to put off dinner for now. I'm sure the rest of the girls will want to hear about this, and I can think of at least one I need to have a serious talk with. Oh, frick. That's the end. Oh, okay. Frick. What?
Hey guys, just wanted to say thanks for playing our game. Means a lot. Writing by Owen, Nagler, and Morgan Day. CGs and sprites were drawn. Character animations by Void. Okay, programming. Awesome. Good job, guys. Good job. Oh, wow. Or some seeds by... All right. Most music. Mid-seeds. Okay. And royalty-free sites. Audio Jungle. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Commission. Oh, nice. Okay. Nice. Cool. You guys did a great job. Great job. Cool. How we oh, demo. Okay, it's a demo. Okay, great. I was like, wow, what a cliffhanger. Because I know when I picked up this game 60 days ago, it just got recently updated or something like that. Wow, what an experience. I was not expecting that to be the end of the game. I'm really looking forward to the other ones. That's all I got to say for that. We can get nitpicky, but no, I'm here to enjoy it, and that was cool. I did enjoy that. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. This time, my throat is not coated with blood because I remembered to hydrate. Drink water.
All right. But again, please subscribe if you like the video. It'll help out a lot. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.